following is a special presentation of TNN Motorsports. Tomorrow, the stars of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series start the second half of the 1999 season in the Jiffy Lube 300. But today, it's a 200-lap twin bills first, the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour in a 100-lap sprint. Then, point leader Brad Layton leads the Busch North stars in the Northeastern Shootout. It's the Pennzoil Replacement Auto Parts doubleheader.
A lot of race fans up here in the Northeast think modifieds are the real race cars. They have over 500 horsepower. They weigh 2,650 pounds. They're low to the ground. They've got Nerf bars. They run side by side. Folks, you're going to see some great modified racing action this afternoon. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Thanks, Steve. Tim Connolly is the hottest driver in the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Series. In his last 3 races, he has a win and 2 second-place finishes, climbing to 3rd in the point standings. His race car, known as the Mystic Missile, has been fast ever since they unloaded here at New Hampshire. This is his 2nd career pole here. He also has a victory. But guess what? We came down to mount the in-car camera. His guys told our guys, hey, if you want to see any other race cars, you better mount that thing pointing out the back.
Temperatures are in the 70s. It is a blustery day, but the fans have arrived in record numbers for today's doubleheader, the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour and the Busch North Series of NASCAR running the Pennzoil Replacement Auto Parts doubleheader here in New Hampshire. Hi, everybody. I'm Eli Gold. Welcome to TNN Motorsports live coverage from New Hampshire International Speedway. Well, maybe I should say Daytona International Speedway, because for these drivers in the Modified and Busch North Series, this is their Daytona. It's their biggest track, their most prestigious racetrack. They'd all give anything they could for a win here at New Hampshire today. And, of course, these 2 touring series of NASCAR have dealt to the NASCAR Winston Cup Tour some of its most famous names. Jeff Bodine, Jimmy Spencer, Ricky Craven, and Steve Park, who has driven 5 different touring series here. They have all moved up from this quadrant of the country into NASCAR Winston Cup competition. Ricky Craven is alongside us today after qualifying 12th for tomorrow's Jiffy Lube 300. Congratulations on that good run. And I think as a Northerner to you, congratulations on helping build these series into what they are today.
Well, I probably played a small part in this, but New Hampshire International Speedway has played a big part in it. And this particular race is the biggest, most important race on the schedule. Racing in front of the Winston Cup fans, the Winston Cup media, but more importantly, the drivers and the crew members are auditioning in front of the Winston Cup owners. It's real important.
And why don't we take that line of thinking one step further, because joining us on the telecast today as well is a gentleman whose driver, Mike Skinner, is in the field tomorrow, qualifying 19th. Larry McReynolds, a regular here on TNN Motorsports. Following up on what Ricky said, do you guys really take notes on what you see on a Saturday at a racetrack and maybe use it for the future?
Oh, I mean, we have to. You know, I keep saying that you can only circulate the Winston Cup drivers and mechanics that's in that division right now. You can only circulate them so many times. So new talent has got to come from somewhere else. Not only drivers, crew chiefs, tire changers, mechanics. What a better place for them to be auditioning than here in New Hampshire in this Modified or Busch North Series. There's some good talent here and some awfully good race car drivers.
And when we come back, we will be showing you the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour, a series in which they've had 7 races and 7 different winners this year. That's next on TNN Motorsports.
Some folks think my Subaru Outback here is just for exotic adventures. Truth is, it's good for the everyday stuff too. You know, like running down to the store, picking up the mail. The secret, full-time all-wheel drive. Something you just won't find in a Cherokee or a Blazer. Comes in handy when you say, wait for a hair appointment. Right with you, mate. You know why I wear a hat.
While we could give you a lot of reasons to buy Performance Friction Carbon Metallic Disc Brake Pads from AutoZone, perhaps the most compelling is this. They simply stop shorter than any brand we've ever tested. Performance Friction Carbon Metallic. Ask for them at AutoZone.
How would you like to call anyone across America for just 8 cents a minute? Well, now you can. Because when you dial 1010-321, it's just 8 cents a minute for calls over 10 minutes. All day, every day. You don't have to switch phone companies. Just dial 1010-321, then 1 and the number. At just 8 cents a minute, now you can stay even closer to the people you want to talk to the most. So remember, to get 8 cents a minute for calls over 10 minutes, just dial 1010-321.
Don't try this with Gojo or Fast Orange. Only new Castrol Super Clean Hand Cleaner removes dirt and grease without water and without towels. Maybe those other cleaners should throw in the towel. New Super Clean Hand Cleaner.
Rogaine Extra Strength is proven to work for 4 out of 5 men.
I like my chances.
Only Rogaine has extra strength, and it's proven to stop hair loss or regrow hair. Rogaine Extra Strength, proven to work.
Welcome back to New Hampshire. Just take a look at the crowd that has jammed into New Hampshire. All the seats that are available today are full. Yes, you saw the section in turns 3 and 4 vacant. That's not being sold for today's doubleheader, but every other seat that is available seemingly has a body in it here at New Hampshire International Speedway today. Let's check out the race analysis for the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour portion of this doubleheader. 100 laps, as you can figure. It's 1.058 miles around this racetrack is, hence the mileage is just over the 100. And Mike Ewanitsko is the track record holder. You know, Glenn Jarrett, it's been kind of a love-hate relationship for a lot of fellas in this series at this racetrack. Jan Leedy has not had the best of luck over the years, has he?
Oh, no, he hasn't, Eli, and that continued this morning. Jan's always one of the favorites when the modifieds run here, but in final practice this morning, he wrecked his race car. They didn't have a backup, so what they do? They borrowed a car from Todd Burley that didn't make the race. They put their setup under it. They hope they got it right. Jan, you got to start in the rear. Can you get back to the front?
Well, we're going to have to be a little bit patient, Glenn, but, you know, I'm fortunate. With the cooperation of Dan Shum Racing and the Chase Racing team, they've given me a second opportunity here today, and we hope to take full advantage of it.
Okay, best of luck to you. Here's Steve Burns.
Thanks, Glenn. One of the most famous names in modified racing is Tom Baldwin, the pride of Belport, New York. Over 300 racing victories, 6 on the tour. Tom, tell us about this race today.
I think it's going to be a real exciting race. The biggest thing we have to find out is when they drop the green, is it going to be oh boy or oh boy with the sun out? And I think it's going to be oh boy, let's go to the front.
Okay, and Eli, speaking of oh boy, his son, Tommy Baldwin, is Ward Burton's crew chief.
Indeed he is, and you've got Tommy Baldwin's son, who is celebrating a birthday this week, and on Tom Baldwin's car, there's a happy birthday wish as well. So just a family affair in NASCAR as we continue on TNN.
Hi, I'm Gary Collins. If you suffer from back pain, have trouble sleeping, or wake up with sore, achy muscles, I've got great news. It's the revolutionary Select Comfort Sleep System, a breakthrough for back pain sufferers, and a better, healthier, and more comfortable way for everyone to sleep. The secret to Select Comfort is its patented air chamber design. To learn more about Select Comfort's revolutionary sleep-on-air technology, this exciting video and brochure is yours absolutely free just by calling. You'll learn how metal coil mattresses can create uncomfortable pressure points, but Select Comfort contours to your neck, shoulders, spine, and hips. Clinical research shows that back pain sufferers reported relief after sleeping on Select Comfort.
It's 93% improvement in back pain relief, which is very significant.
And a study conducted at Stanford University found that test subjects fall asleep faster and sleep more deeply.
My back problems have gone away completely.
I wake up in the morning, I do not have a backache.
Select Comfort's dual air chamber design lets you choose the firmness, from feather soft to extra firm, all at the touch of a button. So don't spend another night on an old-fashioned metal spring mattress. Call toll-free and we'll rush you this free Select Comfort video and brochure. Call now and you'll also be eligible for Select Comfort's 90-night trial program.
I remember looking at it going, 90 days, that's 3 months. I mean, we don't have anything to lose.
Best of all, you'll find that Select Comfort costs about the same as an ordinary metal coil mattress. And with Select Comfort's convenient, no-money-down credit plan, you can afford to sleep better right away. So pick up the phone and call now to find out how to get relief from those morning aches and pains like I did.
Get back pain relief. Call for your free video and brochure. That's 1-800-761-9100 for exciting news about Select Comfort. Call 1-800-761-9100 right now.
A good night's sleep is worth all the money in the world.
TNN's Hot Summer Night Celebration will be right back.
On a beautiful day for racing, we welcome you back to TNN Motorsports live coverage of the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour and the Busch North Series of NASCAR, the Pennzoil Replacement Auto Parts doubleheader here at New Hampshire International Speedway. Let's check out the starting lineup for you now. Number 3 in points is Tim Connolly. The Thompson winner, Mike Ewan at Skull. The point leader is Tony Hirschman and veteran Dan Avery. John Paul Sear and Frank Bordwick together in row 3. The number 5-point man is Charlie Pasteryak, and the Richmond winner is Ted Christopher. Jack Bateman is his second full year on the tour, and the man with 38 career victories, Reggie Ruggiero. You've heard from Jan Lady, and the man who's been on the tour since 1986, Tony Ferrati. Carl Pasteryak and Jamie Tomeno. Guys, they've run 323 races in this tour's history. Tomeno's run 320 of them. Talk about an Iron Man.
Well, I mean, you know, when you think about this Featherlite Modified Series, you definitely, Jamie Tomeno, that's one of the names that you've always linked to this series.
Yeah, and you know, Eli, another thing is a lot of series you say, well, there's a lot of young talent. In this series, there's a lot of old talent.
There is old and veteran talent, including Tommy Baldwin, or at least Tom Baldwin, right there, number 7. Then you've got Mike Christopher, that's Ted Christopher's brother. John Blewett III in the number 44, that's Mario Fiore's car. They've gone through a number of drivers over the years. Of course, veteran Ed Klemke there, the number 79 car for Eddie. So big names there. The field gets 2 laps to go before they go green. Thompson graduate, you saw Chris Kopech. Steve Knowlton in the number 88. He, too, has gone to a backup car. And like Leedy, he'll be dropping to the back of the field on the start. Tommy Cravino, you saw him. And they go back through the fellows who are provisional starters, including Rick Fuller in the Sheba Racing Chevrolet, a past champion, the 1993 titleist. On board, we've got Tim Connolly giving us a ride around New Hampshire's Magic Mile. Though it's tough to tell visually, that is the only Dodge in the field, the Mystic Missile for Bob Garbarino and that whole crew. And there you see at the front of the field, at the other end of the field, you've got a guy right there in the number 8 car, the 1993 series champion who's in on a past provisional. That is Rick Fuller, who has been kind enough to allow himself to chat with us a little bit here on the telecast today. Rick, great to have you with us. Long way to go from back there, my friend.
Well, Eli, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm a little busy right now drawing race cars in my rearview mirror, so I don't feel all alone.
You're a sick human being, you know that. All right, seriously, though, you're in 40th. It's a sprint race here. How patient can you be, Rick?
I'm probably just going to wait a couple of laps and let some of these guys settle in, and we're gonna have to try to get up to at least 20th before we pit for tires, so that we can be with the lead pack where we need to be.
All right, Rick, go to work. We'll talk to you later. Have a good afternoon. That is Rick Fuller joining us on the telecast. He is the past champions provisional starter from the 1993 championship run that he earned in this tour.
Yeah, starting way back in 40th, Eli, but I'll tell you what, that's a car and a driver that can still win this race.
Taking a look at the point standings for the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Series, things are relatively tight in light of the fact that we have seen races this year won by Mike Ewan at Sco, Eddie Klemke, Rick Fuller, who won at Stafford, Ted Christopher, Tim Connolly, John Blewett, and Tony Hirschman. 7 races, 7 winners.
I mean, it really is tight. And I looked even further back, even back to 8th, and only 95 points separate the top 8. And when you look at 7 different winners, it's pretty competitive.
With Larry McReynolds, Ricky Craven, Glenn Jarrett, Steve Burns, I'm Eli Gold. Here we go, the Mod Squad at New Hampshire. Trouble, middle of the field. everybody gets spun around quickly, and caution is on the racetrack. You saw the John Blewett number 44 right there. The 24, that was the car that looks like Jeff Gordon's. That's Doug Meservey. The 93 also involved. That's Tim Mangus. There's Meservey pulling away. And caution as quickly as we start here, lap number 1 at New Hampshire International Speedway.
Well, it didn't, you know, just bunched up on the start of this race and got together here and never even made it to turn 1. That's when you know you've just had a bad day. You don't even hardly get the air pressure built up. You don't even really get to see turn 1, and things kind of break loose.
Yeah. You saw the 51. There's the 44 still sitting, John Blewett. That's a tough break for one of the best prepared cars on the tour, and that's probably the car that either started it or was first touched. That was the Billy Woods, the William Woods car that kind of got sideways. Take a look here and see if we can pinpoint middle of the field, probably about 5-8 rows back.
See, they're bunched up.
Well, Connolly never got going, you see?
Yeah, the pole sitter missed a shift coming up through the gears, and it's hard to say if that contributed to it, Eli, but we're back in the middle of the pack here, and things just get mixed up.
When you got them 2 by 2 like that, it's just it's like stacks up on, you know, busy hour on Main Street. There you see them getting together, spinning.
And the helpless feeling is for the guys in the outside lane that have nowhere to go.
Well, William Woods taking his car to the garage area as the first retiree from this 100-lapper. When it happens in a hurry with the modifieds. Back in a moment.
Giant wall-to-wall tire sale. Get incredible deals for whatever you drive. All brands, all sizes, all tires on sale. And with thousands in stock, we've got the right tire for you right now. Sears, your smart stop for tires and batteries.
You got feet that sweat for a living, and you get athlete's foot. Smart guys know comfort comes in yellow. New improved Desinex powder, it gets rid of the fungus and absorbs twice as much moisture as Tenactin. Desinex soothes while it cures for comfortable feet.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you have a chance to experience Country.com, your personal source for all things country, from race cars to country stars. Connect to Country.com. That's where you can find CNN on the World Wide Web. Welcome back in front of a packed grandstand. The Modified Tour and the Busch North Series of NASCAR running a doubleheader here today. There you see Steve Knowlton, who had started the number 88 car. That was the car that, well, Knowlton actually was involved in the accident today, rented that car and put his number on it. Then John Blewett getting on board the machine. So that driver change just being effected here a few moments ago. Meanwhile, John Blewett now, we just mentioned John Blewett III is standing by right there with Glenn Jarrett. Glenn?
Well, John, you didn't even hardly get going, and man, all hell broke loose. What happened?
I don't know. I didn't even see it. By the time I got slowed down, I was already into somebody. Just one of those deals. Nobody got settled down on the start.
Is the car damaged too badly to go on with it?
No, they'll go fine next time for the day.
Okay, sorry. Better luck next time, man.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. You can see he's a little bit disappointed with things. I tell you, there's nothing worse than a race driver sitting there all that time, getting ready. The butterflies build up. You finally get to start and don't even make it to the first turn. That's tough.
That's tough, Eli. You know, that's the worst feeling a driver can have. And for that team, you know, I think when I see that 44 car and Mario Fiore, he's a legend in this division. You know, he's won every place there is to race, and hate to see that. They probably would have been a contender.
Mario Fiore, one of the best tire men in the business, best chassis guys going, no doubt about that. Downstairs, Tom Baldwin's team keeping an eye on the veteran from Long Island. Steve?
Hey, Eli, as you guys mentioned, there's oil on the racetrack. Well, Tom Baldwin says there's oil all over the Nerf bars and the bumpers of his car. Said his car is covered in oil. right now also the 03 car. Bruce Taylor on pit road. He changed one tire earlier. So Tom Baldwin will have to see if his car is in fact in trouble with oil on top of it from that accident.
We're continuing on the machines on the pit lane. As Steve mentioned, Bruce Taylor's crew tending to the 03. Meanwhile, Rick Fuller, we were following him from the back of the field. There he is. He has moved up to 33rd position. So Rick Fuller climbing his way, albeit carefully, to the front.
Well, it's not that he had to pass a lot of cars, because you had the cars that was involved in the accident, a few more cars that's pitted, so just kind of hanging out at the back and taking it easy, as he said at the beginning when we was talking to him. He's worked his way up, and the thing about it, it'll be a single file restart when we go back to racing. And when you figure 40 cars with no lap cars, the 40th car is almost a half a lap down when they take the green. I believe we have got the one to go here, so we'll go race it next time by.
Mike Ewanitsko shows the way. Ted Christopher. Dan Avery, that's your front three. Field forming up for the restart here. Again, coming up after this event, 100 laps for the Busch North Series of NASCAR. If you're curious, the modifieds do run a 1 1/8 inch restrictor plate here. They also put in a bit of a modified windshield to help them deal with the wind that they don't have to encounter anywhere, unlike this track here. You don't get that kind of an effect on the small short tracks.
Well, the thing about it, Tim Conley sat on the pole at 130 miles an hour. Here we get the green flag. That was a little slower than Jeff Gordon, who sat on the pole for the Winston Cup race. So they have to put a restrictor plate on these things to slow them down. They got an 84-inch tread width. That's 14 inches wider than the Winston Cup cars. If they didn't have a restrictor plate on these things, they'd probably run around here at 140, 145 miles an hour, wouldn't they, Rick?
It would be unbelievable. And this racing fascinates me, that they can do the bump and run, the bump and grind.
Bump draft, yep.
The same type of thing you see at Talladega or Daytona, but it's pretty exciting.
Mike Ewanitsko feeling the pressure from behind. That is Ted Christopher and his Familia 00 going for the lead.
Run to the bottom. Their car got a little bit loose and had to back off and fall in line.
The black number 10 there, Dan Avery, his Chevrolet trying to get the run off the corner. We mentioned the driver change in the 88 car, Dale Avanshin getting on board that machine. Normally his car, he had allowed Steve Knowlton to start it.
Like the 10 car there, that Avery car, looks like he might have had a little bit quicker car if he can get around these guys. He's running all over them in the corner.
And the 06 of Fordwick, that's that blue car stuck to the outside with Connolly to his inside. No different in the modifieds, Ricky, than anything else. You get out of the groove here, it's tough for them to let you back in line.
It may be a little bit more forgiving, Eli, but if you get on the outside and get up in the dirty stuff, you go back in a hurry.
25, Tony Hirschman running right behind Connolly. You heard him tell Glenn, if you want to see anybody, put that camera out the back. And we see Hirschman right there. Others making their moves here in the inside groove. The blue and white in the middle, that's Tony Ferranti Jr., number 31. Wrapping up lap number 10, Mike Ewanitsko took the lead from the get-go through all of that mess on lap 1 when Connolly never came up to speed. Ewanitsko, the big guy from Riverhead, Long Island, grabbed the lead and now tries to pull away by a half second.
Saw Ruggiero get a little bit loose up off turn 2 right there, but he finally got a bite on that straightaway. He really went down that back stretch.
There you see the top 10 until Connolly pulled out, going towards the bottom of the screen. Jamie Tomeno right there, and his Familia number 99, that silver and orange car. He has that position right now.
Dan Avery has moved into second. Watching Christopher's car, it looks like he's a little bit tight from the middle of the corner off. Larry, do you think these cars are affected when they get in behind, like a Winston Cup car is, that they pick up that push?
Well, I got to believe, because, you get the feeling that they don't have a lot of front downforce on them maybe anyhow. So what little they've got, when they get behind a car, I'm sure they do lose that just like a Winston Cup car will and make the front end not want to bite.
Right. It'll be interesting to see if Ted Christopher's able to come back at him. Because Avery went under him pretty easily, and someone else is going along.
That's Reggie Ruggiero who goes along, and that white number 2 makes the move around Christopher, following Avery's tire tracks in those steamroller tires that they use here in the Modified Tour. And there goes Connolly, the pole sitter, that yellow number 4 to the inside. He, too, gets around and climbs closer to the front.
There's no question he's got a fast race car. Sitting on the pole, missed that shift, fell back to 6th under that caution, and he's just one by one picking his way back to the front.
Billy Woods, John Blewett, Tim Mangus, the 3 drivers who have taken their cars to the garage area after that lap number 1 melee. Here goes second place, Ruggiero. Got it.
Eli, if ever a driver deserved to win a NASCAR championship, isn't it Reggie Ruggiero?
Oh, man. Reggie has just been so very close over the years, has run so well here over the years as well.
Iwanitsko's doing something unusual here. He's kind of pulling away.
You don't often see that, but I think it's probably wise. If he can do it, get gone.
Yes, sir, because Ruggiero and Connolly, they are coming.
Right, and I wasn't implying that Mike wasn't capable of doing it, but in the division, this particular division, the draft seems to be an important element. And it's hard to get away from one another.
They saw that bump draft we were talking about.
You know, we talked about in the opening, watching these guys, one thing I do make Mike Skinner do is stay in the motor coach where you can't see this bump draft, because it won't work with the Winston Cup car.
It'll work once.
Yeah.
There's Connolly to try and go 3 wide. Couldn't do it, but he may grab a spot against Avery in the 10. Connolly in that yellow number 4. At the 00, Christopher couldn't make it stick. He was going to bind the car up too much.
You know, you got to believe with restrictor plates, they're just like when we run Daytona and Talladega. You get a push in the car, with the horsepower down, it's going to strip speed off if you can't stay in the throttle.
We have caution on the Speedway. That is turn number 2. The second caution flag of the afternoon comes out as the field is under the yellow. So caution on the Speedway. Nevin George brings out the second caution flag at lap number 17. He will race some more. And there goes the lead that Iwanitsko had built up. 0.6 of a second. He's back to square one again.
Pep Boys knows how to give you a great deal on tires. They don't run specials on just one size. Pep Boys discounts every size in stock. That means all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for $99. And all 70,000-mile tires are 4 for only $169. Even top-of-the-line 80,000-mile touring tires, all sizes 4 for $199. Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires.
Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us.
People say in the town of Flatwoods, the most exciting thing to do is sit around and watch the paint dry. Especially when it's Behr Premium Plus only from the Home Depot.
It's going on so smoothly.
Nice color.
It's 100% acrylic.
It's like putting a plastic shell on your house.
And since Behr has a lifetime guarantee, these people know they won't be seeing this much excitement again for quite a while. Behr Premium Plus, the premium paint with a Home Depot price.
TNN's Hot Summer Nights gets even hotter. Tonight, that's when the Pennzoil World of Outlaws turn out the heat with the duel in the Dakotas. It's Saturday night at the races. Tonight at 9 Eastern, a part of Hot Summer Nights Month on TNN.
Wouldn't it be nice if everything were guaranteed like cable service?
Sorry to keep you waiting. Here's $20.
I'm sorry your table wasn't ready. Your dinner will be free.
It would be nice, but only your cable company offers you these guarantees. On-time service appointments or a $20 refund, guaranteed. And on-time installation or it's free, guaranteed. Cable TV. On time, guaranteed. Too bad everything isn't guaranteed like cable service.
Last year, we provided over 850,000 meals to people in all 14 Vermont counties. we helped more than 30,000 Vermonters in need obtain vital services to keep them healthy and secure in their own homes. And with 2,500 volunteers, we helped thousands of our neighbors live their elder years with dignity, security, and independence. We're Vermont's Agencies on Aging, celebrating 25 years of service to Vermont's elders. Call us if you need help.
Welcome back, everybody. The battle for the lead is a dandy. The 21, Mike Ioannitsko. The 2, Reggie Ruggiero. The 4, Tim Connolly. The 10, Dan Avery. All scrambling along with the 25 of Tony Hirschman, each wanting a piece of the lead here at New Hampshire International Speedway. On the restart of the event, Reggie Ruggiero just caught everybody napping and grabbed the second spot. Now Connolly, with whom we ride.
Clear eye, Jim, clear eye.
Closing in on the red.
Ricky, look how much offset these cars have, how much the right side wheels seem to stick out the body. That's what really makes these cars, one of the things that makes them really go through the corner.
Yeah, it's certainly a big advantage. Handling wise. You think we'd get away with that tomorrow?
I don't think so.
Reminds me of one of Tommy Houston's old Hickory cars. I'm just sitting here laughing. You looked at me and said, what's he smiling about?
Laughing about? Does he know something we don't know?
No. Just brought back some old memories.
Yeah.
Short tracking across the country.
We can laugh about it now.
But you know, for the race fan at home, the more weight you can put over on those left side wheels, the more offset there. See how far the right side wheels are sticking out? The more a car's going to go through the corner. You want to put as much weight as you can, body and all, on that left side.
One of the things that we use as a tool on our cars that they don't have the option to use is the fenders. You know, we pull our fenders in and out.
Yeah.
Can't do that on these, can they?
No, sir. And that's the reason I don't believe they have quite as much front down force as we have.
The weight of these cars, depending upon the cubic inch displacement, the cubic inches of your engine, anywhere from 2,532 pounds up to 2,690 pounds.
And that's weighed with the driver. Our cars, of course, are 3,400 pounds without the driver, so that's about 1,000 pounds lighter than Winston Cup cars.
Middle of the field, some good scrambling back towards the front. You're looking back at 22nd, 23rd position. There's Rick Fuller, our buddy, who's scrambling from the back of the field in that blue number 8. He's running in 25th, trying to make the pass on the 73 of L.W. Miller. NASCAR timing and scoring, brought to you by MCI WorldCom. You see exactly where everyone is running there in the upper left-hand corner of the screen.
Eli, can you talk to Rick Fuller?
Yes, but probably not at this very second.
Well, I was thinking
probably a little busy.
If you grab that radio and tell him right now to goose it, nah, he probably knows what he's doing.
I would think so. I would think so. Of course, he is the brother of Jeff Fuller, who drives the number 89 car on the NASCAR Busch Series. And there goes Fuller past Miller and grabs the 24 position. How about Jan Leedy, Glenn? How's he doing in that backup?
Well, Eli, he's actually doing a little bit better than Rick is right now. You know, he never got a lap in this car, had never sat down in it. They just put their setup under it, moved his seat in it, cranked it up, or put it in the field. He never got to make a practice lap. He's a couple of positions ahead of Rick Fuller. I think up about 21st or 22nd right now. So I'm pretty impressed with that. He's done a good job in a car that he's never been in before.
Doing a fine job, and again, remember, Leedy was injured here a year ago, and after that accident this morning, just gets into that machine. Nevin George has taken his car behind the wall, though not yet to the garage, as you see the scramble for fourth. That white number 2, Reggie Ruggiero. The number 5 is Charlie Pasteryak, the brother of Carl, who is on the racetrack as well with his familiar black car.
Like he's a little quicker in the center of the corner, off the corner than Ruggiero. Maybe Ruggiero beats him down in the corner, but pays the price from the center off.
Some teams returning from the garage area. John Blewett III has just brought the Gulf car owned by Mario Fiore back into the wars after being involved with an accident early in the day. That's that battle for fourth, still ongoing. What I like is Pasterjak's trying something, not just riding, looking inside, looking outside. Now the inside on Ruggiero.
Ever get made it all the way up beside him. I believe he can go ahead and complete the pass there. They go through 1 and 2, and sure enough, makes the pass. Looks like he's going to bring Christopher with him, but Christopher had to fall back in line off turn 2.
Those are darn respectable speeds we're seeing right there.
Really fast getting in and getting off the corner, and they just don't have any horsepower. They have to be calculated in where they try to make their move.
It really is. It's only about 3 or 4 miles an hour slower than qualifying. You figure they're in race trim, know they got to run 100 laps. They're on lap 30 right now. That shows a lot for these guys, their machines, and the tires that they're running here.
And when you talk to guys like Ted Christopher, he says that very much like a big Winston Cup or Busch car, the restrictor plates make that initial throttle response a little bit sluggish. He said, but otherwise, once you get going, it's no major difference.
Well, you got to believe it is, because, the throttle bore on a carburetor without a restrictor plate is 1 inch and 11/16. They're putting an 1 inch and 1/8 restrictor plate. Now, that's probably about 3/16 bigger than what we would run on the cut cars at Daytona and Talladega, but it still takes a couple of hundred horsepower out of these cars, especially, and when you really feel it is when you mash that throttle.
How about the tire war, Steve Burns? I remember a year ago, Goodyear and Hoosier both made a belted bias fly for this series. How are the tires doing?
Well, interesting thing about that, Eli, talking to some of the drivers down in the garage area, many of them are on Goodyears, but it's about split. Now, some of the teams think that actually the Hoosier tires may be the faster tire later in the race. Of course, tomorrow here on TNN, all the Winston Cup teams will have just Goodyears. But again, down here, as you said, a tire war between Goodyear and Hoosier.
The dollar cost $160 for a Featherlite modified Tour tire. About $360 or so, maybe a bit more than that at NASCAR Winston Cup.
While there are a lot of places where people buy parts for their car, the fact is more people choose AutoZone than any other. It's because we're the largest auto parts retailer in America, and they save money with our everyday low price. It's because more often than not, we have the parts they need in stock. And it's because we're the only place where they'll find a battery that's backed by a 3-year free replacement guarantee. Which is why we say there's just no place better than AutoZone.
They just don't make them like this anymore. 1955. That's when Purelator invented the first spin-on oil filter.
Purelator's always been the innovator.
Invented the first oil filter, 1923. The first full-flow system, the first fuel injection system, and the first panel air filter.
That's impressive.
Nobody works closer with the auto manufacturers than Purelator, right? And even now, we're working on all...
He's an original, ain't he? Just like Purelator.
Pure oil now, pure oil later, Purelator.
TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Pennzoil Replacement Auto Parts doubleheader is being brought to you by Purelator. We invented the business. Welcome back, everybody. A beautiful day here at New Hampshire International Speedway, except it's not that beautiful right now for Jean-Paul Cyr. His modified is spun just between turns 1 and 2. Bringing out the third caution flag of the day. It comes out at lap 34. That's Pete Madden. He was also involved in the accident, as many of the top runners now choose to come down the pit lane at lap 34 and make their pit stops here. So some of the top teams in for service at lap number 34. Later on, we don't expect to see the Busch North teams make any stops, but Glenn and the modifieds, Rick Fuller and the others are in.
Yeah, Eli, after only 35 laps, they're going to short pit. They're going to the right side right now. The car has been a little bit loose. Rick hadn't really liked it. He hadn't been able to drive it the way that he wants to. They're coming around to the left side now to do all 4 tires. Now, the tire rule here for the modified series is they get 4 tires. So these tires will be the ones that he has to run the rest of the race. They will not change the left front. They don't get much wear. Fuller is on Goodyear tires. He's down in a way. Of course, no way he even came close to losing a lap. Lost a lot of track position. But you got to remember, at some point in time, these other guys are going to make a stop too, so that'll gain him a lot of track position.
So stops for those who choose in here at lap number 35. And here's what happened moments ago. Madden is in that red car.
Yeah, this is going down into turn 1. It looked like the 41 car might have broke loose, and he overcorrected, and then that involved the other race car there as he was just minding his business going off into turn 1.
So Jean-Paul Cyr ends up in the wall. Of course, the NASCAR teams in all their touring divisions now using that wheel tether, and in many of the divisions as well, the hood tether. And there's one, Larry, right there.
That's it, you know, and it goes around the spindle. And I tell you, I really believe it's real good for these modified cars because they don't have fenders and things protecting the tires and wheels. You see the cable there? It loops around the spindle, and if should all of the A-frame and everything get broke loose in an accident, then that cable will hold all that spindle assembly on and keep it from hopefully going anywhere, staying with the race car.
And as we mentioned, you've also got the hood tether now in place, too. So NASCAR looking after the safety of those folks right there. You guys in the grandstand, among others. We're back in a moment.
Want to color your gray beard or mustache and get a natural look? It's easy with Just for Men Gel.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel. No one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
It's not regular hair coloring. It's specially made to penetrate that coarse, hard-to-color gray. Simply brush in and in 5 minutes, rinse. Now gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
There's something about a Wendy's classic double with cheese. I'd have made the same choice. Hamburger bliss.
Being a good car cleaner takes dedication, hard work. It's not some happy holiday. The name is Everett. I go searching for the grime and the dirt and the sap, the gook. Just use some WD-40, that'll come right off. I majored in automotive hygienics. It's a 3-year program, but I did it in 2. My dream would be to clean the space shuttle. Do they have people that clean that already?
Don't try this with Gojo or Fast Orange. Only new Castrol Super Clean Hand Cleaner removes dirt and grease without water and without towels. Maybe those other cleaners should throw in the towel. New Super Clean Hand Cleaner.
Insects love my lawn. They're up there flying and they see, must be Big Al's restaurant. Well, Turf Builder with insect control works great. Fertilizing in the summer is not something a lot of people do. It's a very important step. So I feed the lawn and get rid of those insects all at the same time. I love Scott.
Left turn signal. Right turn signal. Headlights.
All right, move out. It's 2 nights of World of Outlaws Racing on TNN.
Now come back to the action on TNN's Hot Summer Nights Month.
Welcome back, everybody, in time for the restart here at New Hampshire International Speedway. Green flag is being waved by Billy Ryder, and here we go with Tony Hirschman now showing the way over Mike Uinitsko and Connolly.
Pretty much everybody just staying in single file here on the restart. Still really don't have any lap cars to contend with, so everybody's starting pretty clean.
Larry, I got to ask you, did the leaders make a mistake by not pitting them?
I don't know. You know, a lot of our middle of the field, the back of the field pitted. In a short race where tires mean a little bit, sometimes being the first in and getting your tires sometimes can pay off because track position can mean so much and probably won't have them. Looks like we've got a pass for the lead here, but sometimes should it go green, then those fresh tires, short pitting as we call it, may pay off.
See Uinitsko and Hirschman battling for that lead with Uinitsko reassuming it now. But here comes the 25. You used to see Jan Leedy in that car. Now it's Tony Hirschman.
It's getting pretty busy up front.
It is. Got Charlie Pasteryak right behind that blue number 5. Then the 00, and here goes Hirschman for the lead.
Well, that's what you call wheel-to-wheel right there.
Oh, Tony Ferrari Jr. off course. But he will save it as we go back to the battle for the lead. We remain under green. Look at Tim Connolly.
Like he's riding behind trying to figure out which one of these cars is going to make the pass, and I'll follow him through. Little bump. bump
Little
there.
bump on the Nerf bars. I love this racing.
These guys are not afraid to race side by side, that's for sure.
No, they're not. And if you get a couple of these cars running side by side and stirring up the air, it seems like third, fourth, fifth, and sixth got a better chance.
And they catch them in a hurry.
Again, Hirschman for the lead in turn 3, lap number 42.
Still there, give him room. Still there.
You're the spotter.
Still there, still outside.
Telling me still on the outside, not clear yet.
Listening to Hirschman's radio.
Still there, still there, still there, still there. Get a good run off, still there.
I guarantee he knows he's still there now.
America knows he's still there.
Still there.
Let me tell you, this spotter's doing his job. You know, spotter at times can get you in trouble, but I think the spotter just helped Tony out there coming off of 4. It was getting a little tight.
There you go.
Hirschman's got him. So a new leader here at lap number 44. Good battle with Uinetsko settling in second. Charlie Pasteryak, that blue number 5, is third. Then that red, you just saw the 00 behind, and here comes Uinetsko. Doesn't like running second.
He did not like being back there, and I think he rode there just for a little bit. Boy, he didn't waste no time. Drove it in a little deep, almost washed up too high, but back down the bottom of the racetrack, good bite, takes the lead again.
So Mike Uinetsko, the big guy who won earlier this year at Thompson in the opening event of the year, seemingly always wins at Riverhead, though John Blewett did win earlier this year at Riverhead, but that's been a Uinetsko domain for years. Back in front.
The blue car, the 5 car, Charlie Pasternak, been watching all this lead swapping. He's going to say, now maybe time for me to get up in there and see what I can do.
And Charlie's 5th in points. So he wants to keep touch with Hirschman, who is second on the racetrack and the point leader. Mike Uinetsko, who is leading the race in that 21, the white car, he is 4th in points on the season.
You know, as I watch these guys swap the lead, is there any doubt why there's been 7 winners in 7 races? I mean, it's like this is a competitive series. Nobody's walking away with this race.
Oh, and that's why the fans are packed in to New Hampshire today. And Steve, how about Ted Christopher hanging right there in that red 00?
Yep, he's running in 4th right now, Eli. And, you know, this is we're down on pit road, the pit box, where they keep all the spare tools. They took the opportunity to hang a sign here that said, hey, be a part of NASCAR making history at Watkins Glen. They're trying to get sponsorship for Ted Christopher to run the Winston Cup race there in August. He's also run a few truck races and NASCAR Busch races. And as far as his pit strategy, Eli, his crew chief Scott Anderson said they're going to wait to pit until after halfway, which is in about 3 laps. So they did not pit when everybody else came in. Now let's go to our crew chief, Glenn Jarrett.
Okay, thanks, Steve. I moved down to Reggie Ruggiero's pits to find out if he had a problem. His crew chief, Tom Zavisa, told me that the car's a little bit loose right now, so Reg's just kind of riding right now. They're hoping for another caution. They want to come in after halfway, too. Now, we'll make note of at this point right now. Ruggiero is on Hoosier's tires.
So that's something to watch while we watch the battle for the lead again. Hirschman in the 25 gets the better of Uinetsko.
You didn't know no better, and I know they're not. You'd think they was paying big lap money here to lead the laps.
Yeah, and they really race tight considering we're only halfway through the race. But that's why this series is so strong. Phenomenal racing.
We are 1 lap away from the halfway. You know, the strategy they was talking about, pitting after the halfway, that works out great as long as a caution comes out.
Well,
should it go green, that's where you get in trouble.
Exactly right. And a big part of that equation also is that how many cars are on the lead lap?
Just about everybody.
Just about all. We've got to go all the way back to the 30th position, actually 31st, when you start seeing guys drop off the lead lap. So we've gone past the halfway point. The leader is Tony Hirschman. You see the spread right there. We mentioned before, Steve, that John Blewett returned from the garage 28 laps down. Good to see that car back out on the track.
Eli, he was in that wreck on lap 1. They just came back on. But I got to tell you, the front nose piece of that modified car has a huge hole in the front of it. And it'd be interesting how it affects the aerodynamics of how that car handles. But a big hole, the number 44, right in the nose piece.
You wonder how big the aero package is here.
Yeah, it's again, you know, they're open-wheel cars. They don't have the fenders. Ricky was alluding to that a while ago. They don't have the fenders that we work with and stuff, but you got to believe with speeds they're carrying down these straightaways and overall speeds of about 130 miles an hour, that there's got to be some aerodynamics involved, and a big hole like that can't help things.
We are at lap 52 of 100. Tim Connolly, you're riding with him. He's chasing that man, Tony Hirschman, the leader, just past halfway in New Hampshire.
When you travel at over 300 miles per hour, you need all the protection you can get. 8-time champion John Force uses Castrol, the only leading 10W30 that provides maximum protection against both viscosity and thermal breakdown. Because some people have more important things to worry about. Castrol GTX. Drive hard. And try Castrol Syntec Blend for added synthetic protection.
Hi, I'm Jeff Burton with an exciting message for NASCAR fans. Buy any Exide NASCAR Select product and get a Motorola pager free. It's a great way to enter the Exide NASCAR Select 99 sweepstakes. Every month you'll be paged with another chance to win cool prizes. You could even win $50,000 and be an honorary member of the Exide Racing Team pit crew for the first race of the next century. Look for details wherever Exide NASCAR Select is sold.
Holy cow, man, I gotta find a phone.
Rogaine Extra Strength is proven to work for 4 out of 5 men.
I like my chances.
Only Rogaine has extra strength, and it's proven to stop hair loss or regrow hair. Rogaine Extra Strength, proven to work.
It's a termite stampede. Fear not, my wood friends. There's a new sheriff in town.
The Orkin Man.
Yeah, it's roundup time.
Got termites? Call Orchid for a free inspection and guaranteed protection.
Hi, I'm Bob Vila, and I want to show you another great innovation in Craftsman hand tools. It's the Craftsman Quick Wrench, exclusively from Sears. The Quick Wrench is a combination wrench with a unique open-end design that makes it work like a ratchet. It's made to reach right into tight spaces. The Craftsman Quick Wrench stays in continuous contact, making the job faster and easier. The Quick Wrench is a genuine breakthrough for Craftsman hand tools. Just one more example of how Craftsman makes anything possible. And because it's a Craftsman hand tool made in America, it's guaranteed forever.
Brought to you by LA West Luxury Vans. Available at select dealerships nationwide. Call for a free video. 800-786-VANS. Radio communications are provided by Racing Radios. For all of your radio communications needs, as well as scanners, call on Racing Radios at 1-800-669-1522. And by Featherlite, the official trailer of NASCAR, CART, IRL, NHRA, ASA, and World of Outlaws. Remember to call Featherlite for all your trailer and motor coach needs at 800-800-1230.
Folks, you can race into the all-new and official store of NASCAR. Visit NASCAR Thunder. There are stores located in cities all across the country now. For locations and other information, just dial the number you see on the screen. That number is operational Monday through Friday. They'll give you all the info you need about NASCAR Thunder. Speaking of NASCAR, you might want to do what we do. Log on to NASCAR Online. Get all the latest news from the world of NASCAR racing, all of the NASCAR Touring Series, whatever you want to know. It's right there at your 24-hour NASCAR Garage Pass. NASCAR.com is the computer address where you will be informed. Tony Hirschman continues to lead over Mike Uinitsko and Charlie Pasteryak. Now let's talk about some of the guys moving up. Doug Meservey is the car painted like Jeff Gordon's modified. You see that number 24? Got sandwiched out of traffic right there, but after being involved in a spin early today, he had moved all the way up to 9th place. So a tip of the hat to Meservey. And we've also not talked too much about Satch Worley. Satch driving the number 30 machine, also beginning to move back up. He started 27th position, and Satch is now running in 8th in that number 30 car. So a couple of names that we'll have to keep an eye on as this afternoon winds towards the finish. We're just 40 miles, 40 laps from the conclusion here at New Hampshire International Speedway. There you see Satch Worley being bypassed by the 77 of Jan Levy, possibly, though Satch is not going to go easily. If you're a follower of Eddie Flemke, engine failure. The problem, he has taken his modified to the garage area. Here's Glenn.
Well, guys, we were talking about the cars that are moving forward. Let's talk about Tim Connolly, the post hitter. He's going in the other direction. He's still running in 5th position, but he is a full straightaway behind the leaders right now. He's going to have to pit soon. He's got a very, very bad push in the car. We asked Brian Ross, his crew chief, if they could make it on fuel. He said it would be very, very close. Maybe some can, some can't. He said, but we got to have tires. The tires cannot go much further on that car. It's really tight.
Pit stops being made by some. Jack Bateman now making his stop at lap number 62.
And that's the thing, you know, those guys, they got to make their pit stop. Even though it was early, they got to make it under the luxury of a caution. And with pit road speed, again, these crews are not like Winston Cup crews. They don't get to make 7, 8, 9 pit stops every Sunday and get better and better. So their pit times are a little bit slow. When you figure doing that under green, you're going to lose a lot of time here.
It's a big penalty to pay. You got to wonder if some of these crew chiefs aren't thinking, gosh, maybe we should have pitted.
See Connolly get bumped out of the way by the 30 of Shaq Worley. Connolly gathered the car back in. Now Worley in the 30 going to the outside of Janlini in the 77. They'll be battling for 5th place right there.
Connolly really losing a lot of ground, even though he got bumped. And watching his car, it's like the handling has went away, possibly the tires have went away. Even though this is like about 4th through 14th, we're watching right here, these guys are some 9 to 10 seconds behind that top 3.
The lead for Hirschman, 1 4/10 seconds on Mike Ewanitsko. There is Hirschman.
Oh, we got a spin. Turn 3.
We have a couple of cars tangling in the corner, bringing out the caution flag. So caution on the speedway. Fred Vordemeyer in that red number 04. That's Carl Pasteryak, the veteran, in number 75, who regretfully still remains winless on the tour in over 250 starts dating back to 1985. You're not going to find a nicer guy than Carl Pasteryak, involved with Fred Vordemeyer right there in that spin. And caution is on the speedway at maybe just the right time, Steve, for some of these guys.
Yeah, it's going to be good for Ted Christopher. That's a fact. Also, you mentioned Jack Bateman on pit road. Eli, I thought they came in and changed tires, but there's a problem on the number 47. Jack Bateman started this race in the 9th position. They took the left rear tire off. I could not tell if they were looking at the shocks or the suspension, but he is still sitting on pit road and has lost many laps.
So that pit stop coming in lap 62. We're now at 65, so he will lose, as Steve says, a goodly distance during that pit sequence. Caution for the 4th time. What do the leaders do? Hirschman's coming in. Ewanitsko coming in. Here comes Charlie Pasteryak in the 5. He is coming in. So on the racetrack now, it will cycle things back on around. Others making stops here. Dan Avery is coming in. All the big names are in, Glenn, with just 34 laps to go.
Yeah, Eli, I'm in Tony Hirschman's pit. His crew chief, Barry Cannell, giving last-minute instructions to his guys. They go to the right side here now. They will change at least one tire on the left side. They've got both tires on the wall. Sometimes they fool us and only change one left side tires, but they're going for a 4-tire change. They're not even putting fuel in the car, so they're okay. Here's Steve.
Hey, thanks, Glenn. Ted Christopher is in. His crew chief, Scott Anderson, said they wanted to wait until right about this time, so it is a good break. They changed right side. They're on Goodyear tires. Now they're going to change the left rear, not the left front, as Glenn mentioned. So 3 tires for Ted Christopher to see if he can get back up to the front. Eli, he was another one of the cars that had started to drift towards the back when all the other cars pitted.
The winner at Richmond International Raceway, picking up his first series win earlier this year, Ted Christopher. We're getting down to it, 34 laps to go as we continue live from New Hampshire.
Filtration, particle trapping, is a lot more complex than people think.
Here we go.
Now, let's say Mr. Schrader here was a 10-micron particle. Now, if Mr. Schrader were to try to get through a Purolator filter, it would be as if he were a running back trying to run through a briar patch 3 football fields long without getting snagged.
No way.
Now you know why every Purolator filter has more pleats and depth than other brands.
I think they get your point.
Pure oil now, pure oil later, Purolator.
Sears Giant Wall-to-Wall Tire Sale. Get incredible deals for whatever you drive. All brands, all sizes, all tires on sale. And with thousands in stock, we've got the right tire for you right now. Sears, your smart stop for tires and batteries.
Hey. You quit smoking.
Did I? He didn't quit. He uses Targon mouthwash.
Your teeth look whiter.
Look how Targon removes tobacco tar from these tiles.
Your breath smells so fresh.
If you smoke, use Targon.
TNN's Hot Summer Nights gets even hotter. Tonight, that's when the Pennzoil World of Outlaws turn out the heat with the duel in the Dakotas. It's Saturday night at the races. Tonight at 9 Eastern, a part of Hot Summer Nights month on TNN.
Look what's premiering this month on Adelphia Home Theater. Tom Hanks stars in one of the most honored war movies of all time, Saving Private Ryan. Julia Roberts and Susan Sarandon set aside their differences to bring a family back together. Stepmom. A lovable little pig has some big city adventures. Babe, Pig in the City. And street guru Eddie Murphy becomes a home shopping sensation. Holy Man. Order these hits and more from the comfort of your own home. Check your local listings for movies and start times. Adelphia Home Theater, your link to great movies.
Last year, we provided over 850,000 meals to people in all 14 Vermont counties. We helped more than 30,000 Vermonters in need obtain vital services to keep them healthy and secure in their own homes. And with 2,500 volunteers, we helped thousands of our neighbors live their elder years with dignity, security, and independence. We're Vermont's Agencies on Aging, celebrating 25 years of service to Vermont's elders. Call us if you need help.
Hey, folks, tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern Time, tune in to Race Day, a recap of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race today in Nashville, a recap of the inaugural NHRA Winston Showdown from Bristol, Tennessee, and a preview of tomorrow's Jiffy Lube 300 here in Loudon. It all begins tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern Time, right here on TNN Motorsports. If you're just joining us, well, the action began hot and heavy on the start. Tim Mangus, Billy Wood, Doug Meserve, Bobby Gagetskis, and a host of others spinning on the main straightaway. One of the cars most involved was Bill Wood's machine as he limped it on around to the pit area for repairs. Then lap number 35, Jean-Paul Cyr and Pete Madden get together. Cyr done for the day. Matt, despite the damage, was able to continue as well. All of that brings you to this point, lap number 69 of 100, as we get set to go back to green. The leader is number 77, Jan Leedy. The 14, not 10 Christopher, but indeed his brother Mike Christopher is running in the second spot. Then you've got the number 0 of Ed Kennedy, who is running in the third position now. That's his RSR Chevrolet. It's going to be good here, guys. 31 laps to go.
Got all the makings of a shootout. You got lap traffic. You got 30 laps to go. You got your fast cars back there, 9th, 10th, 11th, right in that area.
Leedy is not that first red car. He is the 4th car in line, the race leader. Number 77, Leedy.
Well, that's really pretty impressive, isn't it, that he started towards the back, if right in the back, in a borrowed car.
Indeed so. Wrecked his race car this morning in practice and just put the number 77 on someone else's machine, and here he's climbed to the front. There you see those who pitted, how they came out and how much track position they gave up.
That's it. It's not that they necessarily had a bad stop. It's that many cars stayed out on the racetrack. And track position, tomorrow on TNN, the Winston Cup race, you'll hear crew chiefs talking all day long. Track position, I got to get my guy track position.
So what are you going to do?
Probably stay out when it gets down to about 75 to go.
And get his guy some track position. Look who's in the middle of the mix there, the blue number 8 of Rick Fuller. He is closed in now behind the 3 of Cravino and the race leader leading 77, 3, 8. Then the 0 of Kennedy, the 25 of Hirschman. Cravino and Lenny Bowler's number 3. One of the most famed teams in all of NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour history.
See Leedy kind of serpentine down the front stretch there, a lot like the Winston Cup cars that do at Daytona and Talladega. Again, he's trying to break that draft on these guys, or at least maybe break it where 2 or 3 of them can break away and get out there. And there you saw the 25 car. He's not wasting no time getting back to the front, just where he was earlier. There you see Pasteryak right on his bumper, bumping him. Whoa, we got a spin.
Charlie Pasteryak. Everybody else will spin behind him, and the world plows in. Charlie Pasteryak was running in 6th. And look at everybody stacked up in the corner. It happened just behind the race leaders. Lap number 75, when Charlie Pasteryak went around and everybody else just had to plow right into him. There's Meserve, who was involved in that first caution, number 24.
Looks like he's got a little more damage than he got in that first wreck earlier today.
Tough break for Meserve, who had worked all the way to the front. Dan Avery is right there, the number 10, and he's got significant damage now with 25 laps to go.
And Eli, Ricky, this is the downside of hitting and getting your guy back in the pack. It's one of the things that happens time and time again. You got a good race car, by virtue of pit strategy or whatever, you end up in the back of the pack, gets down toward the end of the race, and something happens, and your guy gets gathered in an accident.
Absolutely, and you can have the fastest car and still overcome that. But you're right, Larry, it's the hard way of doing things, isn't it?
It really is.
Don Satch Worley involved in the accident, and you see him waving his arms wildly as the field goes by.
I didn't see exactly what happened, but it just appeared as though he got loose getting in, and they got out from underneath him.
We had just looked up, put Charlie on the screen, and that quickly the car broke loose on him. There's Dan Avery. Among others, Tim Connolly also involved. He is also coming into the pits with the right front suspension totally mangled on his modified. So the pole sitter involved. There's Connolly. Glenn, I don't know how much damage you can see, but there's a lot on the right side.
Yeah, it's torn the right front wheel away from the thing, Eli. In fact, it's pointed out almost 90 degrees away from the race car. They're going to have to do significant work here just to get him back out there. Let's go to Steve.
Thanks, Glenn. Dan Avery is in. His problem is the left rear quarter panel. The sheet metal is rubbing against the tire. Also problems to the right side. They got the sledgehammer and crowbars trying to pull it out. But big problems to the sheet metal. There's no way he can race like this. They're going to try and let him go out, but it's still rubbing on that left rear. I'll tell you that.
Well, guys, let's try and figure out exactly what happened here. We were all questioning. We looked up, and Charlie was going round. He's the 5 car, Pasteryak.
Well, he's following you in it. Go down in the corner, a little bump right there. Go off into turn 3. Oh, he might have drifted up and caught the left rear tire of this car right here, and maybe pulled him around.
Yeah, he may have just pinched the corner and had to get on the brakes a little hard, Larry, and unloaded the left rear.
And all these guys, they're just victims.
Yeah. No, watch it again. Maybe this will give us. He's right behind Hirschman.
Little bump. Yeah, right there. Maybe he caught like the rear bumper right there as he was going off in the corner, and that's what brought his car around.
Well, I believe you're right, because the Ed Kennedy car also got out of shape.
Doug Meserve now being tended to up there in the corner. There you see a lot of attention to the number 24. We'll update you when we come back to Loudon.
TNN's Hot Summer Night Celebration will be right back.
While we could give you a lot of reasons to buy Performance Friction Carbon Metallic Disc Brake Pads from AutoZone, perhaps the most compelling is this. They simply stop shorter than any brand we've ever tested. Performance Friction Carbon Metallic. Ask for them at AutoZone.
We're going to change your mind about coloring your gray with the natural look of Just for Men.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men. No one can tell with Just for Men.
Just for Men penetrates hair deep inside where natural color begins. Simply apply, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men.
People say in the town of Flatwoods, the most exciting thing to do is sit around and watch the paint dry. Especially when it's Behr Premium Plus only from the Home Depot.
It's going on so smoothly.
Nice color.
It's 100% acrylic.
It's like putting a plastic shell on your house.
And since Behr has a lifetime guarantee, these people know they won't be seeing this much excitement again for quite a while. Behr Premium Plus, the premium paint with a Home Depot price.
Welcome back to New Hampshire. Quick reminder, folks, the Inside NASCAR crew has been busy here in Loudon. You'll see what's going on inside the world of NASCAR racing. Plus, you'll see a chat with NASCAR great Cale Yarborough. That's Inside NASCAR. Later today at 4 Eastern and Pacific, all right here on TNN Motorsports. Well, work continues on Doug Meserve's car. There you see the remnants of John Blewett's machine. They've had one of those days where it just didn't pay to get out of bed. And Meserve, having been removed from the race car, and the crew will effect the cleanup. They have thrown the red flag, as you see. Billy Ryder in the foreground, Jimmy Howell in the sunglasses there in the background. Jimmy is the chief starter for this weekend for NASCAR Winston Cup. He and Rodney Wise alternate on each every weekend, and he's backing up Billy Ryder today. So we are under caution, and then the red during the 5th caution period of the day. We're just 22 laps from the finish. Now let's take a look again at what happened through the onboard camera from Tim Connolly.
Looking out the back of Connolly's car, they go down the back stretch. I'm not sure, he just maybe got hit from the side again, just part of one of those victims there. You see another one up against the wall. It's like 2 cars have a problem, 10 cars are in it as well.
So we are under the red flag here at the New Hampshire International Speedway. And while we have an opportunity, why don't we talk to that gentleman right there in the number 8 car. Rick Fuller is running 3rd here this afternoon. Rick, good job. You're doing it like you told us you would.
Well, Eli, you know, up here at New Hampshire, the speeds are pretty quick, so I didn't want to try to get in too much of a hurry to get to the accident, so we did it just according to plan.
Tell you, you took your time, you showed some patience, but it's so easy to get in trouble at this racetrack, as we just saw about 8 or 10 of your cohorts there. When something happens, you got to have a little luck going too, huh?
Well, there's no doubt luck is definitely a big factor. We haven't had any this weekend so far. We were just following that 47 car, and he was dumping rear-end grease all over us, and I couldn't even see the racetrack, so hopefully things are going to turn around for us.
You come into this weekend, you're 2nd in points, 41 down. I've never seen a more competitive year in this series. 7 races, 7 winners. You could make it a double here today, you know.
Yeah, that'd be great, but, you know, in July, the only thing that the points really mean to me is that we come to an awesome facility like this. We get a nice parking spot up near the front. We get the pit up near the end of pit road. Other than that, they really don't play much of a factor.
You know, we're watching you. Do you realize you use your hands when you talk?
Yeah, I think I've got some Italian in me. I mean, the problem here, I only race with one hand, so I can't talk to you while I'm racing because I'd crash.
All right, Rick, be safe. Larry McReynolds, I think, has a question for you here. I want to hand the radio down the road to Larry Mack.
Hey, Rick, this is Larry Mack, Mike Skinner's crew chief. How are you?
Actually, I'm feeling a lot better now that we're 3rd, Larry.
I hear you. Yeah, that's a long way from 40th. Probably the interesting thing, maybe you can kind of comment on a little bit, I find watching the pit stops, is how they changed 3 tires. You know, they could go ahead and change the left front. It's kind of free. You got to jack the car up, but you see these guys change the right side, then jack the rear of the car up and change just the left rear. Can you kind of give us a little insight why you don't really change the left front?
Actually, the left front on these Goodyears, they got such an awesome design. They don't wear it all, so it doesn't increase the speed of the car. So what we do is we leave one in the bank just in case some hammerhead like myself is out abusing the right rear, driving a little bit like Stevie Kinzer. This way here, they got a spare one in there to give me.
And you make your car owner really proud when you only use 3 tires.
You make your car owner really proud when you only use 3 tires, as Larry Mack just said. Rick, take care of yourself, my friend. We'll talk to you again. Maybe we'll see you in Victory Lane.
All right, Eli, that's what we came for. Thanks a bunch.
Thanks a lot. Rick Fuller joining us as he sits under the red flag here. Tell you something, Glenn Jarrett, the man's got personality, and he's got a pretty good right foot, too.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. I'll tell you what, when you listen to him on the radio, he sounds exactly like his brother Jeff, but he makes a whole lot more sense. I'm down in, I hope you heard that, Jeff. I'm down in Tony Hirschman's pit right now. The guy you're looking at right now is Barry Cannell. The last 2 years that we've been coming to New Hampshire covering modified races, one man has ruled this division. He won the title in 97 and 98, and that was Mike Stefanik. Well, the primary reason that he won those titles is this guy you're looking at, Barry Cannell. He was the crew chief. Now he's worked with Tony Hirschman, and guess who's been leading, and guess who's on his way back to the front. Barry, it didn't take you long to find somebody else to work with, put another car up front.
Well, Tony drove the car a couple of times when Mike couldn't make it last year for qualifying, and we worked well together, so it was a click real fast, you know.
Well, you made a change there. You changed, I guess, 3 tires, or maybe, I guess, 4 tires. Okay, I thought it was that. But what's Tony saying about the car now? It looked awfully good before you changed.
Yeah, he was real comfortable. We didn't make any chassis changes. He just wanted, we put 3 stickers on it, and we scuffed the right front on it. So he should be good to go now.
Okay, best of luck to you. And, guys, I got a feeling that Hirschman may be the man to beat at the end of this race.
You know, he was the 96 Series champion and had not won a race in 54 starts dating back to that championship year of 1996, and that all changed at Jennerstown on the 19th of June this year. So whether it was Cannell, whether it was Hirschman, whether it was Racing Luck, whatever, it's nice to see him get back on track.
It is, and it's hard to believe that he hadn't won in 53 or 4 races. Yeah. But I guarantee you this, he was right there knocking on the door.
No doubt. That's one thing about Hirschman, always has been. The field was under red for 4 minutes and 10 seconds while the repairs and cleanup took place out in turns 3 and 4, and the intention to Doug Meservey. We will certainly get an update for you from the infield care center here as quickly as we can. There you see Meservey's machine with the top having been cut. Problems there for Ted Christopher. You see the left front.
That's unusual. You got to speculate. You got to wonder if that didn't go flat under the red flag. But the good news, he can get on pit road under caution and get this tire changed and hopefully get back out there, because we're going to be going racing here very shortly. So at least he gets to change it under caution.
Getting set to go back to green. Rick Fuller, one last thought from you from the race car. Do you have enough to get by Leedy and Cravino?
Actually, the 3 car isn't as quick as us, but you'd be surprised how wide the bumper can get. I'm hoping that when I drop, the 25 will come with me and push me to the front. I got my fingers crossed.
All right, Rick Fuller, thank you. As we watch him get set for the restart, they have just aligned themselves. Christopher made the move to the pit lane, having to get that tire replaced on the left front of his modified. These cars, if you're not familiar, this was the featured division of NASCAR when the sanctioning body first began promoting events in 1948. They have put the caution back out. You see the field staying under the yellow. Dan Avery has gone to the garage area. Now, why don't we take a look at exactly who's where, in case you've lost track of where your favorites are.
Tony Hirschman probably had the best car of the day, already in 4th, and Rick Fuller's got 3 problems. 2 of them's in front of him, but the biggest problem is, I think, the one right behind him, that 25 car.
Yeah. We're coming right back. The last 19 laps under the watchful eyes of the TNN camera crew. Back in a moment.
He's got the whole world that in his head. He's got the whole.
She had a voice that reached all the way to heaven.
There is power, wonder, working power.
Heartland Music presents the best of Mahalia Jackson.
If we ever need it, the Lord be home.
You'll get 30 classics filled with power and glory.
Gonna lay down my sword shield down by the riverside.
Mahalia Jackson is America's best-loved gospel singer.
Battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Battle of Jericho. Walls came tumbling down. Hallelujah.
Get the best of Mahalia Jackson on 2 CDs or 2 cassettes. Plus, order now with your credit card and get a free bonus album of Mahalia's best-loved spirituals.
He shall overcome one day.
That's 3 great albums of Mahalia's most powerful performances. Remember, order with your credit card and get 3 great albums.
Gracious
To order Mahalia Jackson, call 1-800-381-9988. That's 1-800-381-9988. Or send $19.99 for 2 cassettes or $24.99 for 2 CDs, plus shipping and handling to Mahalia Jackson, Department 1, Richmond, Virginia 23280. Call 1-800-381-9988.
Let me...
The Jiffy Lube 300, Sunday at 1 Eastern on TNN. Welcome back, everybody. The restart, Jan Leedy in the number 77. And look at this battle. Crevino in the 3, the red and white 25, Hirschman. The 8 is Rick Fuller. All of these battles going on now with 16 laps to go for second spot.
Eli, you think you can talk to Rick now?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty impressed with Hirschman. Trevino and Fuller was protecting inside. He said, I'll just go around on the outside. So he drove by both of them from outside the racetrack.
He's really running. And I think that Ruggiero is going to be a contender.
And problems, the number 48, that's Tom Bowles, who's had more than his share of problems in that exact same spot on the racetrack. Remember last year he got together with Dale Shaw in the Busch North Series race and was severely injured. Tom back in the race car and spins in virtually the identical spot, lap number 85, veteran Tom Bowles. That family has been involved in NASCAR some 26 years now.
He's in trouble. He's got one tire pointing north and one tire pointing south.
It's not good.
No, it's not.
Let's see what happens here if we can pick him out.
Going down into turn 1. I believe something broke on the car there.
Yeah.
You see the tire is already aimed to the left. It's almost like a tie rod or something like that broke on that car with no help at all from anybody else.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You saw it, the wheel just turned left and the car kept going right. He was along for the ride. Back with the finish of the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour race, and then the Busch North Series of NASCAR around the corner here on TNN Motorsports.
Pep Boys knows how to give you a great deal on tires. They don't run specials on just one size. Pep Boys discounts every size in stock. That means all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for $99. And all 70,000-mile tires are 4 for only $169. Even top-of-the-line 80,000-mile touring tires, all sizes 4 for $199. Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires.
Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us.
Mud holes, dirt roads. Most people wouldn't think of driving through stuff like that. But then that's the beauty of Subaru all-wheel drive. It automatically transfers power from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip, which means it does the thinking for you.
Sorry, mate. Guess I wasn't thinking.
Subaru, the beauty of all-wheel drive.
How would you like to call anyone across America for just 8 cents a minute? Well, now you can. Because when you dial 1010-321, it's just 8 cents a minute for calls over 10 minutes. All day, every day. You don't have to switch phone companies. Just dial 1010-321, then 1 and the number. At just 8 cents a minute, now you can stay even closer to the people you want to talk to the most. So remember, to get 8 cents a minute for calls over 10 minutes, just dial 1010-321.
Sunday's the best day to wash the car because that is my day off. The name is Everett. My father washed cars, and his father before him, but that was in pre-modern era, before WD-40 came along.
Hey, what are you doing on my truck?
Washing cars is like my destiny.
Now come back to the action on TNN's Hot Summer Nights Month.
We've got another doubleheader coming your way tonight on TNN as we kick off the month-long series Saturday night at the races. You'll see the Pennzoil World of Outlaws in the duel in the Dakotas. And after that, the ASA racers battle in the Pontiac Excitement 250. It all starts tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, right here on TNN Motorsports. Not a bad day of racing with 2 events in the afternoon and 2 in the evening. Steve Burns has been hanging out near the Infield Care Center, checking on Doug Meservey. Steve, what you got for us?
Well, Eli, we have some very good news to report. I just spoke to his father, Dan Meservey. They're going to take Doug to a hospital in Concord just to give him some routine x-rays. He was awake, very alert. He's kind of sore, but again, very good news. He is alert and awake, and they're going to take him to a local hospital for some routine examination.
That's great news. Concord, New Hampshire, the state capital, just up Highway 106, about 10 miles, former hometown of one Ricky Craven.
Yes, and Steve, great job pronunciating that Concord, not Concord.
That's right. They slap you. They slap you.
Now,
for
Eli
saying
and I from Alabama. We say Concord.
we say a little bit of this, a little bit of that. There is Ted Christopher. Had to make that unscheduled stop before. He's now in 13th spot, going double duty here today. Ted Christopher is running, obviously, the Modified Tour. Also set to go racing in the Busch North Series event. He likes doing double duty here at the Magic Mile.
Well, the Modified is just totally different. I mean, you can send the thing in probably, 100 yards deeper than you can with the Busch car. You can get in it, and as long as it's really working well for you, and I try to get my nose working the best I can on my cars and drive it in pretty hard, and then, get on the throttle right away. You can pick up the throttle so much faster with a Modified compared to the Busch car. The Busch car, you got to, and I've learned by trying to, running back and forth between the both of them is not to drive my Busch car in as hard and get my exit speed faster on the Busch car than I do with the Modified.
Going to be tough making the transition from one moment to the next, but Ted Christopher's been one of the best at doing it, and as we mentioned, already has a win this year on the Featherlite Modified Tour at Richmond International Raceway. We are 11 laps from the finish, remaining under caution. Clean up from the Tom Bowles machine, and that's one thing about having a very light race car. You don't have to tow it anywhere. You just pick it up and carry it off to the house. Tools, anybody? We've got them all. Back in a moment.
Just because you're in front doesn't mean you sit back and watch the others try and catch up. If you can make a great thing better, you do it. And that's what they've done with new Mobil 1 Tri-Synthetic. That's a bit of a mouthful, but basically it means new Mobil 1 protects against engine wear better than ever before. Helps your anti-pollution gear work better too. For me, using anything less just isn't an option.
Nothing outperforms Mobil 1. Don't try this with Gojo or Fast Orange. Only new Castrol Super Clean Hand Cleaner removes dirt and grease without water and without towels. Maybe those other cleaners should throw in the towel. New Super Clean Hand Cleaner.
Sears giant wall-to-wall tire sale. Get incredible deals for whatever you drive. All brands, all sizes, all tires on sale. And with thousands in stock, we've got the right tire for you right now. Sears, your smart stop for tires and batteries.
This week on NASCAR Garage, learn about a Winston Cup team's wireless gear, check out the racing action in the Busch North Series, and more.
NASCAR Garage, this weekend on the leader for motorsports coverage, TNN Motorsports.
Last year, we provided over 850,000 meals to people in all 14 Vermont counties. We helped more than 30,000 Vermonters in need obtain vital services to keep them healthy and secure in their own homes. And with 2,500 volunteers, we helped thousands of our neighbors live their elder years with dignity, security, and independence. We're Vermont's Agencies on Aging, celebrating 25 years of service to Vermont's elders. Call us if you need help.
Hey, you just paid too much for that new television, and you probably threw out the old one when it still works.
You could have donated it to a community recycling center and given someone else the chance to buy it and prevent it from going to waste in some landfill.
Heck, you could donate anything that's sitting around your home, like furniture, appliances, electronics, anything. That could save a lot of money, won't harm the environment or the people around you, and should be done in every town. Look in your community for recycling centers and do your part.
This has been a public service announcement brought to you by the Burlington Technical Center and Recycle North.
Welcome back to New Hampshire. Who said that Rick Fuller can't drive and talk at the same time? We're coming to green. Fuller's in 5th. And Rick, you said you'd talk us on in. Have at it, my friend.
Not a problem, Eli. I'm going to a little brake here to shift the car. Trying to draw the inside on the 3 so he can't throw the block on us again. Follow the 2 car. Come on, stay down. Stay down. How'd that do? We made that one. I probably shouldn't do this for much more than a lap, or my guys will get mad at me. So, I'm going to let you go, buddy.
That's Rick Fuller as he takes us towards that green and carries us through one lap here. Up front, though, it's a scramble that Hirschman has won from Jan Leedy. You've got the 2 of Ruggiero, then Fuller moving up to the 4th spot with Baldwin now battling with Ferranti and others right behind him. You see 7 laps to go.
I don't know. If I was his crew and I was watching this, I'd say, get back on the button. He was doing pretty good while you were describing it. I think he was a little more focused.
That was great. That was a classic.
And, of course, folks, so you understand, this was all planned beforehand. We did not just open the radio and go. We checked with Rick during the commercials and obviously had permission from the team and all to make sure we could talk to him when the time was right. And they were kind enough to say, heck yeah, if he wants to talk while he's racing, have at it.
It's money time. It's 5 laps, 6 laps to go. They're going to settle this thing.
31 Ferrari. That white and blue car you just saw, there he is, left of the screen. He scrambled up to 7th, and they skate, and they hang on all the way as Kennedy was heading to the wall, but Ed managed to woe it on down and keep out of the retaining barrier.
I think him and the 5-car Pasternak got together, and he just couldn't quite hang on there.
There's the good battle for 2nd place now. Fuller inside of Leedy. Caution, backstretch. 1 car spins, Charlie Pasternak. Pasternak has spun, and here we come now. Lap number 96 is going up on the board. Pasternak in 9th, and Fuller makes a run at the lead. Can't get there. Hirschman still has the top spot, and it's been one of those days, too, for poor old Charlie Pasternak.
He's had a good car. He's just been involved in a couple of incidents. Looks like this is going to be the dying blow. There you see the 16 car, Chris Kopech coming down pit road. A lot of damage to the right front. I think Charlie knows pretty much 2 or 3 laps to go here. Winning that down, I'm done, guys. I've had all I can take.
Now, folks, remember, this series wraps up their events under green. Even if we exceed the 100 lap mark, which is the advertised distance, we will have the green flag, then the white flag, and then the checkers. So there will be a couple of laps of racing yet to go, even if we exceed lap number 100. We've seen that happen a number of times here in New Hampshire.
And I can't help but think, I go back to some of the guys that's thinking, should this thing have not had any cautions there in that range where they pitted, even though it's not an issue now, that's where you got to make sure you get in and get that fuel in there just in case they do run some extra laps here. I think Glenn Jarrett's got something for us down in the pits.
Yeah, Larry, just an observation as we're getting to the closing laps of the race here. We've documented it pretty well about Rick Fuller starting in the rear, now running in 3rd position. The guy running in 2nd, Jan Leedy, also started in the rear of the field. Those short pits that they made early on in the race when they came in around lap 35, made those pit stops, got them out of the way, have brought those guys all the way from the rear of the field, where they're up there battling for 2nd, 3rd, and maybe even the lead. I tell you what, that's a pretty good day's work. Starting the back of this field, come through it to 2nd, 3rd. Those guys have done a great job.
You know who else we haven't talked much about from midfield was that guy, Jamie the Jet Tomeno from Neptune, New Jersey. And he is a veteran, as we mentioned earlier. He has run all but 3 races in the history of this tour. He's run 320 of the 323 events, and he came from midfield and, doesn't win as much as he'd like, but he's been a hard charger and a battler every weekend and out.
Always been in the picture, and, it's interesting for me, Eli, the same names, the same drivers that were winning 10 years ago are still winning. They're just in different cars. And I'll tell you what, it seems like they swap. They have the same silly season Winston Cup has. I mean, they swap rides every year.
This year was crazy. Everybody moving around. Point leader Tony Hirschman driving for Gary Creddy. That car was most recently driven by Jan Leedy, and, of course, Barry Kinnell, as Glenn told us, moving on over. Tony Hirschman's ride from last year, the number 3, the Lenny Bowler car, now driven by Tommy Crivino. John Blewett driving for Mario Fiore, the car that Crivino drove a year ago. Jan Leedy driving Kurt Chase in the normal 77. George Kent was here. Didn't qualify for the race, but the ageless one from Horseheads, New York. the other half of the Creddy team, driving a number 26 car. Ted Christopher, we've seen it in a red 00, driving for Joe Brady. I mean, you're right. And on and on and on the list seems to go. But a lot of silly season kind of stuff in the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour. Well, George Kent, it was nice seeing. It's too bad he didn't qualify for the race. The veteran from Horseheads, New York, but it was really nice seeing him up here this weekend.
Yes, and it looks like we're going to have a green-white checkered, which guarantees the fans here that we're going to have 2 laps of racing.
Now, here's what happened a few moments ago to bring about this 7th caution. Pasteryak came down, Kopech went up, and they both vied for the same piece of real estate.
Now we know why Kopech's right front was tore up as he come down pit road as well.
It's amazing how easy it is to pick up when you got the replay going. 1 to go is the signal being given by Billy Ryder, so they will get green at lap 100, but again, forget about that. They're going to have a green, then a white, then a checker. And if they don't get it done this time, they'll do it again until they get it done.
You know, as you two guys was talking before we go back racing here about all the ride swapping and owners changing drivers and all, the gist I'm getting out of this, maybe the stakes aren't quite as high, but the pressure to win, the pressure to perform is there just like in Winston Cup.
By the way, how about your plans for Winston Cup? When we left the folks in Milwaukee last Sunday, you said Tuesday or Wednesday was your, as you put it, a drop-dead day. What's happened this week? Anything?
Yeah, you know, I think we've all but pulled the plug on it, Eli. You know, it's something that myself and John Dangler have worked feverishly, in particular John Dangler, for 10 months, and we had deadlines. The reason we had deadlines is because we wanted to be able to give a sponsor their bang for their buck and have a good, solid race team. I moved the deadline a couple of times because we was not there but quite there, and it didn't happen, so we just have to see what the future is. And here we go, gang. We're going to have 2 laps of racing.
Here we go. Hirschman, Leedy, Fuller, Ruggiero, and Baldwin. Cleanly into turn 1.
Half and a half to go here. They go down the back stretch. So you see the red working the inside and working the outside there at Fuller.
Ruggiero in that white 2, Fuller in the blue 8, Leedy in the red 77, and the red and white 25, Tony Hirschman.
White flag this time.
After 7 races and 7 winners, Hirschman trying to go back-to-back. He won the last race at Jennerstown, Pennsylvania. That's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on your screen.
And 5th through 20th.
But Tony Hirschman looking for his 16th career Featherlite Modified Tour Series win, and his 4th here at New Hampshire. And Big Daddy is bringing it on home with Leedy, Fuller, Ruggiero, and Christopher wrapping up in that order. Glenn, a super run for Hirschman.
Absolutely, and Barry Cannell, congratulations once again, another modified victory. You had that car really dialed in.
Yeah, we threw some things at it this morning after practice. We were just winging it, and it seemed to work, and Tony did a great job for us.
Well, congratulations again. We'll let you get to victory lane. Let's go back topside to Eli and the rest of you guys.
All right, Glenn, thanks so much. As the victory goes to Hirschman, the 2nd and 3rd place finishers, Leedy and Fuller, started at the back of the field and battled all the way up to make a big show of it.
Honey! Bill! Think we need a new ceiling fan?
Lowe's knows how to help.
With hundreds of fashionable top-quality fans.
Including the new 1999 models from names like Hunter and Harbor Breeze.
We can even have your fan installed for you.
So with Lowe's guaranteed everyday low prices, making your room beautiful is a breeze. When it comes to ceiling fans, Lowe's knows.
Hold it, Harry. You know you can't use Duraloop fuel treatment in your Indy car. It's an unfair advantage.
I'm not allowed to use this product in my Indy car, but in my road car, I want the Duraloop advantage.
Duraloop is scientifically formulated to clean, condition, and protect your fuel system for a smoother running engine with more power and less harmful emissions. Duraloop fuel treatment, tomorrow's technology today.
Rogaine Extra Strength is proven to work for 4 out of 5 men.
I like my chances.
Only Rogaine has extra strength, and it's proven to stop hair loss or regrow hair. Rogaine Extra Strength, proven to work.
You got feet that sweat for a living, and you get athlete's foot. Smart guys know comfort comes in yellow. New improved Desenex powder, it gets rid of the fungus and absorbs twice as much moisture as Tenactin. Desenex soothes while it cures for comfortable feet.
Lots of stresses. Motors are running hotter. Everything's fuel injected. Filters have got to be tougher. Oh, all these SUVs and trucks pulling things.
And pressure.
Oh, enormous pressure. Purelator test for hydrostatic burst, PSI load, impulse pressure fatigue, and everything. Oh, but that's not enough. Every single Purelator filter is tested during production, too.
That's why I use Purelator filters on all my cars, even the race car. We've learned something from all this racing.
Pure oil now, pure oil later, Purelator.
TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Pennzoil replacement auto parts doubleheader is being brought to you by Purelator. We invented the business. Welcome back. You see the Busch North Series cars pulling out of the garage area while in victory lane. Tony Hirschman, who has led 8 of the races this year, led them all at one time or another, now picks up his 2nd win of the season and the 4th for him here at this racetrack. Len Jarrett.
Eli, Tony Hirschman is the first repeat winner of this ultra-competitive series. Tony, hard-fought victory.
It really was. These guys gave me an awesome car. I was a little worried going into this race. We had problems yesterday and this morning, tearing the right front tire out. We just couldn't get the tightness out of the car, and we made some changes before the race, and what an awesome car. I took it easy in the beginning, left them other guys run themselves out, and then I just took command, and I was hoping the caution didn't even come out. The car was good enough for you to go right to the end.
Tony, a lot of cautions at the end of the race. Did that bother your rhythm at all? Did it bother your concentration?
It's sort of, you know, it's... but I know I had an awesome car. And you know, here you hate to see restarts and bunch everybody up. The draft played such a big part. But I got to thank Tony's for an awesome motor in this car for me. I mean, I had power, pull on and pass whenever I wanted to. My crew, they did a super job keeping the tires on this car. And, you know, I got to thank Goodyear tires. I mean, these things were awesome today. They didn't skip a beat for me. And all their sponsors, Sunoco and everybody, I mean, I'm really happy.
All right, great victory, Tony. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Okay, thanks, Steve. I'm standing by with Jan Leedy, who turned in an incredible performance in a borrowed car, never had a lap in it, from the back of the pack to 2nd place. Got to feel good about that.
Yeah, I'm really a lucky guy. Got a lot of people to thank. You know, people got behind me when the going was tough, and, you know, I really appreciate all the help. You know, the Chase Racing team and Dan and his whole team that loaned me the car. You know, I really owe them a big thanks.
Great job, Jan. Another guy standing behind us right over here, Rick Fuller. I want to tell you something. Now, I've been around racing a long time. I never heard anybody, yes, I have. I never heard anybody scream like that. You think those guys could hear you?
That's why I do it. I try to scare them out of the way instead of outthinking them.
Well, another great job for you, starting 40th on the field, coming on the 3rd. What an incredible day. And we appreciate the talk on the radio. That was fun.
Yeah, we had a blast, too. You know, these guys worked real hard. We broke a motor this morning. They had to change a motor. They shot themselves in the foot for qualifying yesterday, so we had to start way in the back. So there I am talking with my hands again. I don't know. We had a blast, though. I want to say hi to my son, Alex.
Okay, thanks again to Rick Fuller for the fabulous job he did on the radio, and to Rick Fuller and Jan Leedy for the great show they gave us coming up through the pack.
They did just that. As you take a look at the unofficial results here for the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour, Mike Ioanenko was the guy to beat early guys, but he had to settle for 6th.
But I'll tell you, with about 10 to go, he was sitting back here in 17th and fought his way back up to a good, solid top 10 finish. Along with Ted Christopher, you know, he had a flat tire with maybe 10 or 15 laps to go. And I got to tell you, I admire that guy. He wins in whatever he sets in.
Yep.
And he's a prospect. I mean, he is a prospect for Busch Grand National, or maybe even Winston Cup.
There you see the top 20 taking it further back. The brothers Pasteryak, 22nd, and Charlie had to settle for 25th, and that's a heartbreak. Well, was he up to 3rd at one point, I guess?
Exactly, and there you see pole sitter Tim Conley ended up 27th after getting involved in that big accident after the restart over in turn 3.
The 10 of Dan Avery, you see him way back. And there are some of the fellas involved in accidents. Eddie Flumke lost an engine there in the number 79 car. Tim Mangus in 40th spot involved in an accident early in the day, as the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Tour in front of a jam-packed New Hampshire International Speedway put on their normal fine race. Don't leave us, folks, because those cars, the Busch North Series of NASCAR, next to hit the racetrack. They're going 100 laps for you as soon as we come back.
TNN's Hot Summer Night Celebration. We'll be right back.
Jeff Burton with an exciting message for NASCAR fans. Buy any Exide NASCAR Select product and get a Motorola pager free. It's a great way to enter the Exide NASCAR Select 99 sweepstakes. Every month you'll be paged with another chance to win cool prizes. You could even win $50,000 and be an honorary member of the Exide Racing Team pit crew for the first race of the next century. Look for details wherever Exide NASCAR Select is sold.
Holy, man, I gotta find a phone. The Jiffy Lube 300, Sunday at 1 Eastern on TNN. 2 months ago, here at New Hampshire International Speedway, Brad Layton took the checkered flag and took hold of the 1999 Busch North Series point lead. Today, he'll try to make it 2 in a row at Loudon in the second leg of the Pennzoil Replacement Auto Parts doubleheader. We are back live at New Hampshire International Speedway on a spectacular day for racing, and the Busch North Series of NASCAR now set to take center stage as we've got some of the finest northern racers, young and not so young alike, set to go to the green. Hi again, everyone. Eli Gold, joined by Ricky Craven, Larry McReynolds, Glenn Jarrett, and Steve Burns. And we are set for the second of 4 races at the Busch North Series of NASCAR. Will be running here at New Hampshire in 1999. Back on May the 8th, Brad Layton picked up a victory. You saw highlights of that just seconds ago. He's one of the favorites to win here again today, but you can't discount some of the young names and certainly the return of Stub Fadden, who said, yeah, I'm retired, but I'm going to run a race or so every now and then. Paul Richardson is here. All the famous names, plus, of course, Dave Dion, who is always a threat to win anytime you come to New Hampshire International Speedway. Let's take you back, though, to 1991. There was a guy driving the Speedy oil change car in those days who did indeed win here at the New Hampshire International Speedway, August the 25th of 1991, Ricky Craven. Let's talk about how this series now has changed. I think, number one, is the equipment far better than what you guys drove years ago.
It has. First of all, I love this series. I love this racetrack. And the series has changed, but what's important is that it's still economical. You know, these guys can come here and run the big time, but not spend a ton of money. Most of them may only have 4, 5, 6 tires for the whole weekend. That's incredible. Where else can you do that? NASCAR's done a great job to make this a professional series, but still leave it economical.
And you talk about tire management, Larry McReynolds. That's something that you deal with in a different way come Sunday in the Jiffy Lube 300 tomorrow. That's very much a part of the strategy story here when we go back to the old bias ply days.
It really is. You know, these cars, they're a lot like watching the Busch Grand National division. The big difference is they are on a bias tire where Busch Grand Nationals run radial, and they weigh about 200 pounds less than their southern cousins, you might call it. But yeah, 100 laps, no different we saw a while ago in a modified race. Track position, tire management, and being around at the end will be important.
And folks, if you like what Tony Hirschman and the Mod Stars did a few moments ago, you ain't seen nothing yet. The Busch North Series does not take back seat to anyone. And they're next live on TNN. Stay with us.
We're going to change your mind about coloring your gray with the natural look of Just for Men.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men. No one can tell with Just for Men.
Just for Men penetrates hair deep inside where natural color begins. Simply apply, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men.
People say in the town of Flatwoods, the most exciting thing to do is sit around and watch the paint dry. especially when it's Behr Premium Plus only from the Home Depot.
It's going on so smoothly.
Nice color.
It's 100% acrylic.
It's like putting a plastic shell on your house.
And since Behr has a lifetime guarantee, these people know they won't be seeing this much excitement again for quite a while. Behr Premium Plus, the premium paint with a Home Depot price.
Do you dare to be there everywhere? Can you expose your toes? Or do you hide them because of embarrassing, ugly nail fungus that turns nails colors, makes them thick or brittle? Well, now you can discover how it's possible to get healthier nails, more beautiful nails back. By calling this number, you'll receive a free video and learn about effective oral treatments your doctor has. Remember, there are 20 little reasons you should call for your free video on nail care and treatments. This year, quit covering up because of embarrassing nail fungus. Learn how to lose those shoes and love it. Then dare to be there, everywhere. Because fungus-free nails are a bare necessity.
Everybody is set to go racing for another 100 laps. The Pennzoil Replacement Auto Parts 100. First half won by Tony Hirschman. Now the Busch North Series of NASCAR taking center stage. Let's go pit road. Steve Burns.
Hey, Eli, Brad Layton starts this number 55 on the outside of row 1, having a tremendous season. 4 victories. Brad, tell us about your strategy on this tough racetrack.
It is extremely tough. The unfortunate part for us, we made a calculated guess that the clouds are going to be over the Speedway, but it appears to be the sun's out, so I'm not exactly sure how the car will react to it, but we got a great car, and we need to finish in the top 5 today to increase that point lead.
Okay, best of luck. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett. He's with the pole sitter who had problems earlier this morning.
You're exactly right, Steve. This is the right side of Tom Carey Jr.'s car. On the very last lap of morning practice today, he got into the wall, did significant damage. They've patched most of it now, but Tom was very concerned early on about just whether they'd be able to get everything fixed or not. He hasn't had a chance to race it since then. Tom, what about it? You think you got it back in shape?
I'll tell you, this AAA aircraft Monte Carlo's been good all weekend, and that last happy hour we had this morning, I got in some oil and got it into turn 4 a while a little bit, but we think we've got it straightened out. We will be telling you a little while here. We have to stop making an adjustment. We'll make an adjustment. Hopefully we can keep it out front.
Okay, normally these guys would not want to stop in a 100-lap race, but you heard Tom say they don't know. It's a guessing game for them, and they won't know until we get the green flag, which is coming up.
The 28th Busch North Series race ever here at New Hampshire International Speedway, and the 11th race of 20 in the 1999 schedule. It's set to unfold when we come back.
While there are a lot of places where people buy parts for their car, the fact is more people choose AutoZone than any other. It's because we're the largest auto parts retailer in America, and they save money with our everyday low price. It's because more often than not, we have the parts they need in stock. And it's because we're the only place where they'll find a battery that's backed by a 3-year free replacement guarantee. Which is why we say there's just no place better than AutoZone.
I can't live like this.
Have no fear, the Orkin Man is here, and you've been evicted.
Got bugs? Call Orkin for a free inspection and guaranteed protection.
Don't try this with Gojo or Fast Orange. Only new Castrol Super Clean Hand Cleaner removes dirt and grease without water and without towels. Maybe those other cleaners should throw in the towel. New Super Clean Hand Cleaner.
TNN's Hot Summer Nights gets even hotter. Tonight, that's when the Pennzoil World of Outlaws turn out the heat with the duel in the Dakotas. It's Saturday night at the races. Tonight at 9 Eastern, a part of Hot Summer Nights Month on TNN.
Last year, we provided over 850,000 meals to people in all 14 Vermont counties. We helped more than 30,000 Vermonters in need obtain vital services to keep them healthy and secure in their own homes. And with 2,500 volunteers, we helped thousands of our neighbors live their elder years with dignity, security, and independence. We're Vermont's Agencies on Aging, celebrating 25 years of service to Vermont's elders. Call us if you need help.
Hey, you just paid too much for that new television, and you probably threw out the old one when it still works.
You could have donated it to a community recycling center and given someone else the chance to buy it and prevent it from going to waste in some landfill.
Heck, you could donate anything that's sitting around your home, like furniture, appliances, electronics, anything. That could save a lot of money, won't harm the environment or the people around you, and should be done in every town. Look in your community for recycling centers and do your part.
This has been a public service announcement brought to you by the Burlington Technical Center and Recycle North.
There you have a good look up the starting grid for today's NASCAR Busch North Series 100 lapper, the Pennzoil Replacement Auto Parts 100. Some of the pertinent numbers, they'll be racing for better than $161,000 here today. As you see on the race analysis, again, the 100 laps. Ted Christopher, the man with the race record here for the NASCAR Busch North Series. Has a Ron Hutter engine in his car, does Ted Christopher. As we take a look at the starting lineup for you, third New Hampshire pole for Tom Carey, fifth of the year. Brad Layton is the point leader. Martin Truex won here in '94, and Ted Christopher won here last August. Andy Santerre back in the race car, 13th last week in Milwaukee. Dale Shaw with 3 wins here. Dennis DeVers was 6th here back on May the 8th, and veteran John Preston. Former motorcyclist started out. Dale Quarterly, Billy Penfold, Kelly Moore, last year's race winner, and Denny Doyle. Brian Chu driving for his dad, Buzzy Chu, out of Long Island. Mike Bruno, best qualifier among all the rookies. Jeff Taylor, he had a good run last week. He was 2nd at Stafford, and Lou Rettmeyer. Herb Drug is here. Walter Riley carries one of our onboard cameras today. Ben Rowe, and of course Dave Dion, the 1966 Busch North Series champ, as they used to call it back in those days. And the way back in the old days.
I remember that because I was born that year.
No, I'm just kidding. 1996. Wanted to see if you'd bid on that. Dave Dion, he seemingly has been around. Speaking of guys been around a while, there's old Stubby Patton. Paul Richardson, super modified ace, another of the fellows who's been around. He's advertised as 56 years of age. Advertised as 56. Tom Bowles doing double duty. There's cousin Eric Bodine, cousin to Todd, Brett, and Jeff. Jerry Markey, the 95 Tim Zock, he's going to move to the back of the field. He missed the driver's introductions today and will be going shotgun on the field. J.B. Gibbs having to use a provisional, along with Brett Rubinek, who bought some of the old Andy Santerre equipment when Andy moved south to go into the NASCAR Busch Series. On board, Mike Olson is going to be giving us a ride around. I wonder how much good that Little Trees air freshener does at high speed. I know it works in the family car.
I don't believe it's going to do a whole lot of good in this car today here.
No, but it's working real well right now for the sponsors.
Yes, it is.
Sort of thing.
Denny Doyle has his number 30 machine set to go from 12th, and the always popular God car. Guaranteed overnight delivery for Walter Riley. Also has a little political statement to make in this primary year. Glenn Jarrett?
Well, Eli, these guys qualified late yesterday afternoon, so NASCAR gave them a practice session early this morning to set their cars up. The guy who was fastest in that practice, Andy Santerre, who's a NASCAR Busch Series regular down south, came back to his roots here, posted the fastest time in happy hour this morning. But another guy who was quick and always runs well here, starts way back in 20th. That's Dave Dion in the number 29 car. He could be a threat. He was quick this morning. Steve?
Thanks, Glenn. You know, Eli, as you said moments ago, Tom Bowles is one of those guys doing double duty. As Glenn mentioned, Tom Carey got into an accident in practice this morning where Tom Bowles had problems as well. The right side of his car was flattened a bit. He also said he's got a carburetor problem. His engine was not picking up gasoline well. It was sputtering, so he made an engine change. So Tom Bowles already having problems here today. Eli?
As for those who did not qualify, well, a large list of DNQs. As a matter of fact, there were 60-some-odd cars here for the Busch, for the modified race, 64, and nearly 60 for the Busch North Series of NASCAR. So you see the list just goes on and on and on. Louis Michelides not qualifying, Joe Pezza, and all of those fellows failing to make the speed necessary here today. 100 laps, 105.8 miles in the series that Ricky built. Did I say that right? That's Ricky.
That's nice. That's generous.
That's Ricky Craven. Larry McReynolds alongside as well. Glad you're with us here. Race number 2 of 4 that you'll be seeing on TNN with the Pennzoil World of Outlaws and ASA Racing coming up tonight. Here we go.
Somewhat of a clean start.
Look at the scramble behind him, though, for second on back. 13 is Christopher in the familiar white with orange piping.
2 or 3 or 4 laps, Eli, to get the tires built up, and then they can go racing. I got to believe that the outside is not the place to be right now. And but they're scrambling for position.
Dale Shaw in the black 744. Andy Santerre in his familiar paint scheme. You know, these guys are getting around here pretty quickly, but they look like they're just lumbering along after watching the Mod Squad, huh?
Yeah, they're running race speeds now about 115, 100. Oh, we got
trouble here on the main straightaway as one car goes barreling off into the corner, and we remain under green. John Barber. Track looks pretty clean in front of us here. We don't see from our location any trailing oil on the racetrack. But problems for John Barber, who'll be heading to the garage area here. We do remain under green at lap number 2.
And he really did a good job of getting out of the racing groove the minute he saw he had a problem and where these guys could keep racing and not put any oil down.
Leighton Carey, Mark Truex owns that fishing business in Jersey. Joined the Busch North Tour in 1994 and won here that year after starting second. 86, Dennis Demers. Dale Shaw in the 7. Dale Quarterly in the 32. Shaw has the DeWalt sponsorship. That's his short track car. Not truly a departure. A lot of folks want a short track car here in New Hampshire, kind of like a Martinsville on steroids, as they call it. But he sold his big track car to Brian Wall.
It's a mile racetrack, and a mile carries you a little over a mile into the category of a speedway. It's just a big, flat, short track that has some pretty long straightaways. You would do all the things that you would do at a short track here.
You know, Dale's one of these drivers that not only drives his car, but he builds it. Now, there's a concept, Larry. If you wreck it, you fix it.
I don't want my driver working on our car.
You see the number 47, the Les Care Kitchens car. That's Kelly Moore. The 30, Denny Doyle. You're used to seeing the 47 Moore in those green and white colors from his old sponsor, but he went with the Les Care Kitchens folks here this season, hence the new look. That's 10th place on your screen. Doyle in the 30 and Quarterly in the 32. Just underway, 5 laps into the 100. That's the lead, Leighton and Carey. Leighton drives to the Grisco team. Stephen Margaret Griswold, the owners there. Ended up second in points last year.
Got a little bump from Carey. You know, it looks like Carey's sizing him up. He's a little quicker through the middle of the corner. And it doesn't seem to me like the 55 car is getting in the corner very well. But the great thing is about these tires is that you can manipulate a little bit because of the bias ply, and the tires shrink and grow.
That's the biggest thing, yeah. And, you know, we need to probably share that with the fans. You know, you talk about radios that we run on the Cup and Busch International cars, and there you see the 41 car, Joey McCarthy, slowing on the backstretch. Cars having to go low to get around.
Oh, and trouble here in the corner as around goes Walter Riley. And Tom Bowles in his brand new 76 car, and they spin. We're under caution. Walter Riley, who's carrying the onboard camera, and then Tom Bowles, who was bragging to me yesterday, said, man, look at this brand new race car of ours. And that brand new race car of his finds itself in a big old heap there. They ran 2 laps of practice yesterday, blew an engine, has had such little time on the racetrack, and now look what happens here.
Another one of these guys that builds his own car.
Yep.
Eli.
Family operation.
This is going down to turn 1. Looks like the black car got into the 91 car there and just turned him around. And, of course, there, nowhere for Bowles to go. And then the red car there at the top of the screen, he had nowhere to go except to the outside wall after he got hit by Bowles.
Brad Boissonneau was the man involved. Jerry Marquis there as well in the wall. Lots of problems. Lap number 8 here at the New Hampshire International Speedway.
Mud holes, dirt roads. Most people wouldn't think of driving through stuff like that. But then that's the beauty of Subaru all-wheel drive. It automatically transfers power from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip, which means it does the thinking for you.
Sorry, mate. Guess I wasn't thinking.
Subaru, the beauty of all-wheel drive.
Sears giant wall-to-wall tire sale. Get incredible deals for whatever you drive. All brands, all sizes, all tires on sale. And with thousands in stock, we've got the right tire for you right now. Sears, your smart stop for tires and batteries.
Rogaine Extra Strength is proven to work for 4 out of 5 men.
I like my chances.
Only Rogaine has extra strength, and it's proven to stop hair loss or regrow hair. Rogaine Extra Strength, proven to work.
It's here. The wind tunnel by Hoover in a new model that's actually self-propelled. It's so easy to use, it almost works by itself. Tests show wind tunnel picks up more dirt than any other clean air upright, including all bagless brands. Call now and this new self-propelled wind tunnel can be yours for just 5 easy payments of only $79.99. And there's more. Our super stretch 20-foot hose, an agitator on-off switch for bare floors. And unlike bagless brands that use dirt cups, which are messy to empty, wind tunnel has a convenient and clean allergen filtration system. Act now and we include all these extras, a $50 value, free. Just 5 easy payments of $79.99. Call now for your self-propelled wind tunnel by
Now come back to the action on TNN's Hot Summer Nights Month.
Drivers, race teams, and race fans. The 99 Team Simpson Racing Catalog's now available. For more information, call 1-800-71-RACIN or visit the Simpson website at simpsonraceproducts.com and join Team Simpson today. Mack Trucks are furnished by Clement Chevy Mack Sales. For all your truck and tractor needs, call Clement at 1-800-369-MACK. Winnebago Industries, the official motorhome of TNN Motorsports. For information on Winnebago Industries products for the Winnebago Motorsports team, call 1-800-643-4892.
Brad Layton leads. The field will be getting the 1-to-go signal. John Barber, Jason Manafort, Walter Riley, Joey McCarthy, and Jerry Marquis all going to the garage area. There's Walter Riley's car, and here's what happened. Looked like the black car, Brad Boissonneau, just shoved Walter Riley out of the way, and then there was nowhere for anyone to go. Actually, that green car, number 14, Tracy Gordon, made a great bit of evasive driving there. And now ride with Walter Riley. Let's listen in here. Round and round she goes, Glenn, and stops in the garage for Walter.
Yeah, that was a tough deal. There was just no room for many of them to go. Eli, I thought you did a great job of documenting all the problems that Tommy Bowles has had. Steve and I talked to him this morning, really felt bad for him, but with all the things that have happened to him, and then to get knocked out of the race by a car that says God on it, I think I just go home, man. Before I send it back up to you, though, document one other thing on the 55 car, the leader of the race, Brad Layton. Remember, he told us up top that they set the car up for cloudy conditions, so he's a little bit loose right now. That's not surprising.
Getting set to go back to green, the double file restart. Layton and Carey, Santerre and Truex to work we go.
Makes it pretty interesting, a double file restart like that. You don't see that hardly anywhere at all. Of course, we do it when we run the Winston Select there at Charlotte, Lowe's Motor Speedway, but one of the few places you do see that.
Ted Christopher really got a good run up off the corner.
Meanwhile, you and I are just sitting here smiling. It's kind of nice to see that again. Double file race. There you see Doyle giving us the view, Denny Doyle.
Well, I got to confess, guys, I'm a little bit partial because...
Does he have one of your engines?
Yeah, because part of my engine deal there with Robbie Patterson, Robbie Crouch, Glenn Wright. The leader, Brad Layton's got one of our engines, so I'm going to say he's leading because of the engine, but he's not really helping me out there, is he?
Well, he's got a rear-view mirror full of Andy Santerre right now. Andy's car just really working good right there up off the corner. And of course, we heard Glenn say that Brad was a little bit loose, and that's where Andy seems to be the strongest, is up off the corner. See the 13 car there, the white car, Ted Christopher, moving right in the picture. He's becoming a player in a hurry, too.
There goes Santerre for the lead.
Well, Rick, he just turned that car right to the bottom.
He did, and how you get through the middle of the corner is determined by how well you get in the corner. And he's getting in the corner real well. But I don't think the 55 car is. I think he's a little loose getting in the corner.
So Santerre will take over the top spot here at lap 15 when they get back to the stripe. Trying to bring Christopher along there to the inside. Santerre, Christopher, Terry, and Lee. Then it's Demers right there in fifth, and Dale Shaw, Kelly Moore, Dennis Doyle, Martin Truex, and Dale Quarterly, your top 10. Steve?
Hey, Eli, we caught up with Tom Bowles. The car is in the garage, heavy damage to it. Tom, gosh, it's just been a tough day at the office for you.
I know, it's been a tough weekend. We had a good modified going there, but the throttle spring broke. 2/3 way through the race, we got to like 8th spot there. And we pitted with that car there for the Keeley materials. And I caught that deal. We came in and they put a spring on the caution. Then we got going again. I was trying to get back to the front there. And that spring just broke going down in the turn, and that was all done, that car. And this car here, a brand new car, it's a family-built car for Kendall Motor Oil. Working real hard to try to do something here this weekend, and we had nothing but problems right from the get-go. Boys worked hard all weekend. Finally got it going good. It felt good in the race. It's just one of those deals somebody spun in front of me, and I just didn't have anywhere to go. I was trying to find a spot, but it closed right up on me in a hurry.
Tom Bowles, fine competitor, fine gentleman, tough weekend at the office. You saw the leaders just going by. Brad Boissonneau as Dale Shaw's car skates out of the corner. Opens the inside.
Eli, going back to Tom Bowles, give the guy credit. He's a great racer. We got trouble over in 1 and 2.
Trouble in the corner, Lou Rettenmeyer.
No caution.
No caution at all. Just does the loop-de-loop and keeps on going as Santerre brings him back to the stripe. You were saying about Bowles.
Well, and if you have a bad race, you have a week to get over. But in Tom's case, he has a tough race in the modified, and then he has to get over it and hop in the Busch Grand National North car. And it hadn't gone much better for him, but he's a great racer. He'll come back. I'm sorry, I got the 77 car going behind the wall. Brian Wall, up-and-comer, a young, aggressive driver, and very successful in the series. Boy, this is going to hurt him in the points.
And I'll tell you the attrition list already. John Barber, Jason Manafort, Walter Riley, Joey McCarthy, Jerry Martin, Tom Bowles, and Brian Wall, now all in the garage area. Hey, how about Dave Dion, the veteran? Dave Dion in that orange car of his, all the way up to 11th spot now, Glenn. How about that?
Yeah, I just talked to his brother Roger, who's the crew chief, and they said the car feels real good right now, so they're hopeful that he can continue to work his way on up to the front. I tell you, Dion loves racing this place. We got trouble.
We have trouble as the 67 of Jamie Olby spins out of turn number 3. Caution is on the Speedway for the 3-time Busch Grand National North champion, as they used to call it when Jamie won the championships in 1988, 89, and 90. Jamie Olby spinning in turn 3. Caution for the second time today. So Andy Santerre leads them here in New Hampshire. His wife Sue says, "How are you?" They hope to celebrate at Victory Lane later.
They just don't make them like this anymore.
1955. That's when Purelator invented the first spin-on oil filter.
Purelator's always been the innovator.
Invented the first oil filter, 1923. The first full-flow system, the first fuel injection system, and the first panel air filter.
That's impressive.
Nobody works closer with the auto manufacturers than Purelator, right? And even now, we're working on all...
He's an original, ain't he?
Just like Purelator.
Pure oil now, pure oil later, Purelator.
Hey. You quit smoking.
Did I? He didn't quit. He uses Targon mouthwash.
Your teeth look whiter.
Look how Targon removes tobacco tar from these tiles.
Your breath smells so fresh.
If you smoke, use Targon.
Insects love my lawn. They're up there flying and they see, must be Big Al's restaurant. Well, Turf Builder with insect control works great. Fertilizing in the summer is not something a lot of people do. It's a very important step. So I feed the lawn and get rid of those insects all at the same time. I love Scott.
Left turn signal. Right turn signal. Headlights.
All right, move it out. It's 2 nights of World of Outlaws Racing on TNN. Hey, if you folks love that Pennzoil World of Outlaws Racing, just keep it right here on TNN. Welcome back to New Hampshire, the Pennzoil Replacement Auto Parts 100. There is Jamie Obey pushing with help from the crew. That says Busch North Series right there. Desire, and you end up pushing the car back to the garage by yourself. And when I looked up, that's where he was. But he started, the flame too. He started spinning and having smoke problems halfway up the backstretch.
Yeah, it's like he maybe got in his own oil. There was possibly a little oil fire there. You see the view looking toward him and just lots of smoke. And this is where, Ricky, it's got to be pretty bad feeling to not know which way you go in all this smoke.
He's got no control. The only chance he's got is to get to slow down, and he did.
So poor old Jamie Obey done for the day. Andy Santerre, though, is not done for the day. He is leading here at New Hampshire International Speedway, and Elliott Sadler is proudly watching on from Santerre's pit.
Okay, Eli, and here's the story. When Andy Santerre was hurt in the season-opening race at Daytona, Elliott Sadler filled in for this team, and you're still very interested in how these guys are doing.
Yeah, I tell you what, Andy's running pretty good right now. This is a brand-new car, kind of the sister car to my favorite one that I used to run with these guys, but Mike Greach and the guys doing a great job. Andy's leading the race, and hopefully this Monroe car win today, and very interesting. Made a lot of good friends, and just interested to see these guys win, and hopefully we can just stick to the ball a little bit out for tomorrow. Just trying to learn, see what the track's going to do, see if we can make it work for us tomorrow.
Okay, Eli, he'll start 33rd tomorrow.
And you know that Elliott's accent really goes over well up here in the New England area.
Well, and Andy gets it back just as bad when he gets down there.
Of course, the reason Andy was on the injured list, if you will, remember what happened back in the Napa Auto Parts 300 at Daytona in the season opening weekend as part of Speed Weeks when the spins began. Andy just went sliding into Michael Waltrip's machine there out of turn number 2. And that was the big injury that had Andy getting rehabbed at home, and it just looks uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really, really happy for Andy right here. He's got everything it takes to be a great racer, except maybe a little bit of confidence right now, and that's why he's here. It's a place that he's run well at the past, and he'll run well today.
Boy, one of the biggest confidence boosters I can think of is where that race car's sitting right now after leading the race. He's gaining it lap after lap.
Double file restart with Ted Christopher alongside. It's a good fight off that low side of the racetrack, Santerre does, but here comes Christopher. Out dragging into turn 3.
Yeah, it may not hurt that Ted's run 100 laps here today, you know, and he's off and running.
A little dance in there behind him. Carey got somewhat sideways. Looked like the 86 of Dennis Demers touched it. Brad Layton, the 55, our pole sitter. correct myself. Tom Carey, the pole sitter. The 42, he and Leighton bumping there.
Three
Three wide with Demers.
This won't work, guys.
Somebody's got to give.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Carey comes in. Leighton's doing more skating up there than the Boston Bruins. Just can't get a hold of that racetrack.
Let me tell you what probably happened there. Three wide, you can run side by side getting to the corner here, but when you put three wide, you're putting yourself up in the racing groove where all the rubber and stuff has went up there, and these hot tires will pick that up, and it'll make you feel like your car is sideways. You've got a flat tire. It'll make it feel like everything except what it's supposed to, and I bet you that's what happened to him right there.
You're right, Larry. It'll take a lap to clean them up, won't it?
Exactly.
32, Dale Quarterly. That's the battle for 7th inside the 30 of Doyle if he can make it stick.
Clear, you're clear.
Riding with Denny Doyle.
You're clear.
He was clear for the moment, though Dale Quarterly.
A little bit loose there up off the corner. I tell you, all the cars I see, nobody's pushing. They're all loose, you know. And we was talking before the accident a while ago, the last caution about these bi-ply tires, is they grow, is they build up air pressure. Unlike a radial, the size of them will change. And if your car's loose, you're building more pressure in the right rear tire, and it'll just keep getting bigger and bigger, and that'll make the car looser and looser. And that's the downside. One downside of a bi-ply tire is you don't know where your tire is going to quit growing.
That's right. And the only chance they got, Larry, is just to not work that right rear too hard. If they do, it's going to get worse and worse.
Exactly. It's not going to come back.
See Brad Leighton challenging there with Dale Quarterly. NASCAR timing and scoring. Brought to you by MCI WorldCom. Ted Christopher still showing the way, but only by a 1/10 of a second on Santerre, Demers, Carey, and Shaw. Glenn?
Yeah, guys, I think that's a great point you guys were making, talking about trying not to buzz that right rear tire. Brad Leighton, as we told you earlier on, who's leading, who started on the outside pole, was leading, got very, very loose. They've been cautioning him not to spin the tires, not spin. Got to pass there. Andy Santerre's taking back the lead. But anyway, to finish up what I'm saying, Leighton is trying very hard not to spin that tire. They think it'll come around, but now he just radioed in, said he thinks he's got a tire going down.
So problems beginning to develop, and here comes Carey off the racetrack down the pit lane. So Carey, who started on the pole, is now making the unscheduled stop at lap number 30 here at New Hampshire International Speedway. Glenn?
Eli Mama went to the pits. They bring him in. They're going to the right side, so evidently he's got a tire cut down also. So on the right side, they're going to change both right side tires, and that's a tough break for Tom. It looks like they had the car in pretty good shape after the crash this morning. Looks like it was driving pretty well, but he's got tire marks on the left side, and I imagine now they're coming around to the left side looking up under the thing. I imagine that he may have gotten together with somebody, but this is more than a tire.
Well, we did see him bump with Brad Leighton at one point.
You see the official point, you can't leave unless you got 5 lug nuts on. It's like he was pointing, saying, look, you don't have 5 lug nuts tight, and he's losing lots of time. He's 2 laps down, going to be well over 2 laps down before he gets to go back out on the racetrack.
Heartbreaker right there for Carey. He was 4th in points coming in, 171 back of Brad Leighton, as the spotters look on from the top of the grandstand in New Hampshire.
Just because you're in front doesn't mean you sit back and watch the others try and catch up. If you can make a great thing better, you do it. And that's what they've done with new Mobil 1 Tri-Synthetic. That's a bit of a mouthful, but basically it means new Mobil 1 protects against engine wear better than ever before. Helps your anti-pollution gear work better too. For me, using anything less just isn't an option.
Nothing outperforms Mobil 1. Don't try this with Gojo or Fast Orange. Only new Castrol Super Clean Hand Cleaner removes dirt and grease without water and without towels. Maybe those other cleaners should throw in the towel. New Super Clean Hand Cleaner.
Sears giant wall-to-wall tire sale. Get incredible deals for whatever you drive. All brands, all sizes, all tires on sale. And with thousands in stock, we've got the right tire for you right now. Sears, your smart stop for tires and batteries.
Jeff Burton with an exciting message for NASCAR fans. Buy any Excite NASCAR Select product and get a Motorola pager free. It's a great way to enter the Excite NASCAR Select 99 sweepstakes. Every month you'll be paged with another chance to win cool prizes. You could even win $50,000 and be an honorary member of the Excite Racing Team pit crew for the first race of the next century. Look for details wherever Excite NASCAR Select is sold.
Holy cow, man, I gotta find a phone. Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us, this event started about 36 laps ago, but it didn't take long for things to heat up. Lap number 8, Brad Boisino tags Walter Riley. Tom Bowles is involved. That's Marquis into the wall. That's the view that Walter Riley had. He's in the garage along with 7 others as we are now 37 laps into the Busch North Series 100. Andy Santerre leads. Ted Christopher is second. An unscheduled pit stop moments ago for Dale Quarterly has taken him out of the lead mix. Tom Carey also making that stop a while ago, dropping him some 2 laps down into 35th position. Eli Gold, Ricky Craven, Larry McReynolds, Glenn Jarrett, Steve Burns on hand here today. Tomorrow, Dick Bergman, Buddy Baker, Ralph Shaheen joining us as well for the Jiffy Lube 300 NASCAR Winston Cup Series race. Jeff Gordon on the Bud Pole with our coverage starting with the pre-race at 12:30 and the green flag shortly after 1 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow. Mike Olson running in 15th right now. Steady run for him. He's got one of our onboard cameras going. He's the guy with that little air freshener. You see it going right there straight away. Watch what happens when he goes into the banking of 12 degrees.
Well, this tree
goes out.
Yeah, this tree right here. I've always wanted to use one of these things. Teleprompter. No, there it goes. No, there it is. Okay, this tree represents what the driver feels when he's in that car. You're going down the straightaway and you turn the car into the corner. The car turns left, but your body wants to go straight. And that, it feels exactly like what you see until you get straightened out again.
Is this a physically demanding racetrack among racetracks?
It's not bad, but it sure gets physical the last 20 laps or so. And I think tomorrow's race, the first couple hundred laps are all right, but the last 100 laps wear on you.
Well, at least they're calling for cooler temperatures. I remember the first time, it's hard to believe we've been coming here for 7 years running the Cup cars, but the first year up here, it was well into the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the biggest problem drivers had.
Heck, last week up here, they were telling me it was right near 95, 96, and the weather broke middle of the week, and by Wednesday, it was quite comfortable.
See, we're in the middle of summer up here right now.
Yeah, they just had summer. July 4th was summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, last week was the beginning, next week's the end.
They got 2 seasons up here, winter and July 4th, but this really is one of the most beautiful areas in the country. It really is gorgeous. That's a great battle right there. That's 3rd, 4th, and 5th. DeMares along with Moore and Shaw.
Yeah, Kelly may be the sleeper in all this. I watched him move up from the starting position, 11th. And he's not abusing the car. So I got to believe that these drivers are going to try to go all the way on one set of tires, no fuel, no stops. And the whole complexion of this race may change the second half of it.
Kelly Moore, you talked about him there in the 47. He has run all but 2 Busch North Series races in Tour history. A couple of wins here, full of top 5s.
There you see some of the top speeds. Christopher with almost 119 miles an hour. That's about 4 to 5 miles an hour slower than what they actually qualified, but not too bad of a race pace here with just a few laps shy, 7 laps shy of the halfway point.
Brad Layton led the first 14 laps. Andy Santerre laps 15 through 24. Ted Christopher led 25 through 29, and then Andy Santerre took over at lap 30. Now leads through lap number 43. Bradley inside of Dale Shaw. Give him 5th if he can hang on.
Just can't quite plant that throttle up off the corner. You can definitely tell he's fighting a loose condition. I know he wants to get back to the throttle, and I've never driven Ricky. Obviously, you know what it feels like. You want to mash that throttle, but the rear wheels are saying, not yet, not yet,
right.
Not yet.
And you can see it really uncomfortable right in the middle of that corner. He was ready to go back to the gas, but the back of the car wasn't ready.
risky, they say, to overdrive these turns here.
It is, but what is fun about this, and we see the 90 cars pitting, and maybe he's got a problem in the back of the car.
Herb Drug had a little smoke coming from the right rear of the automobile a short while ago. You see the crew checking beneath it, and one of the NASCAR Busch North officials consulting with the crew.
Actually, what he's saying is, look, it's not leaking, trust me.
That's right. The argument continues. So does the smoke, while Andy Santerre continues to lead at New Hampshire International Speedway. We're coming right back.
TNN, America's Country Home, is a service of CBS Cable.
The Real McCoys, solving real problems, one episode at a time. Weekdays on TNN.
A free weekend? We do. Watch the Showtime and the Movie Channel free previews July 16th through the 18th. Showtime's got earth-shattering Hollywood hits no one else has. See Deep Impact, Godzilla, Jim Carrey and the Truman Show. The Movie Channel is fun for people who just want to have movies. 7 Years in Tibet, Sliding Doors. Absolutely free July 16th through the 18th. Now Showtime and the Movie Channel are the place to be.
Last year, we provided over 850,000 meals to people in all 14 Vermont counties. We helped more than 30,000 Vermonters in need obtain vital services to keep them healthy and secure in their own homes. And with 2,500 volunteers, we helped thousands of our neighbors live their elder years with dignity, security, and independence. We're Vermont's Agencies on Aging, celebrating 25 years of service to Vermont's elders. Call us if you need help.
Over-the-road transit for this broadcast provided by Ryder Transportation Services. Hey, folks, don't forget tomorrow we are right back here in Loudon, New Hampshire, and before the Jiffy Lube 300. Find out the latest news from the garage area on our preview show starting at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 in the morning for those of you folks on the West Coast. And then watch the Jiffy Lube 300 immediately following. It's right here on TNN Motorsports. Ricky Craven qualifying 12th. Larry Mack's driver, Mike Skinner, in the top 20 at 19th spot. Sad to see Derek Cope didn't qualify, and Robert Presley and Dave Marcus failing to make the race. David Green, likewise. There's always some disappointment among somebody else's good weekend.
Oh, there always is. You know, it's getting tougher and tougher. Of course, the thing that, you know, the reason a couple of the regulars had to go home, you've got Little Earnhardt, good starting position, and then Dave Blaney for Bill Davis, who'll be moving up to Winston Cup next year. He made the field today in second round qualifying.
Right, he'll start 34th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. going 13th alongside his dad, who qualified 14th. Andy Santerre continues to pace the field. He has 1 3/10 seconds now on Ted Christopher. So once Andy got to the lead and got settled down, he's pulled away, but now he's going to have to start dealing with some race traffic. He's got that white number 20 of Randy McDonald, the blue number 16 of Kip Stockwell also just ahead there. How about some pit road updates, Glenn Jarrett?
Well, I'll move back down to Brad Layton's pits. I told you they were hoping that after he ran a little bit, the car would tighten up. It has started to come back to him a little bit, but the 86 car of Dennis Demers, who is running third right now, is smoking when he goes through the corners. And so Layton has been radioing into his crew telling them that he's putting some fluid down on the racetrack. They've been beseeching NASCAR to call the guy in, to call Dennis in, but so far nothing has happened. But they say it's getting pretty greasy out there. They've been trying to get that. Now the black flag is coming out for, who is that coming by now? Might be Dennis Demers. Yes, it is.
Black flagging
Dennis Demers. So he's smoking. He is definitely putting fluid down, so all their efforts have paid off. Anyway, Layton running a little better now.
So the black flag is out for Dennis Demers. There you see the lead that Andy Santerre enjoys over the 13 of Ted Christopher. Back on the racetrack, there's the scramble for fourth. Making for fifth right now. Dale Shaw grabs it from Brad Layton. They go around Demers, who's coming onto the pit lane. Dale Shaw's giving it a good ride.
He really is. He was a little loose coming up off of 4, but he's moving forward.
You know, he ran well at times when he was down south with James Finch's bunch, but Dale told me yesterday in the garage that sometimes personalities just don't mesh. He said, very honestly, the James Finch boys, as good as they come, he said, but they and Dale Shaw, Dale talking in the third person, said they and Dale Shaw are just totally different kind of folks. It just didn't work.
And it's a very, very difficult transition.
But Shaw giving it a good run, trying to challenge Kelly Moore. Got him. Gives Shaw third. Steve Burns.
Hey, Eli, you heard Elliott Sadler moments ago talk about Mike Grieche, who's working as a crew chief with Andy Santerre. Mike Grieche is a very famous name to race fans up here. I'm sure Ricky Craven knows all about him. Mike Grieche worked with Mike Stefanik the past 2 years and also worked with Mike McLaughlin. So a very famous name working with Andy Santerre from this part of the country.
That's quite a combination. Andy Santerre and Mike Grieche, and he's in a class by himself right now. He's having a lot of fun. This is good for him. I'm happy for him. It's still only halfway through the race, but he's really running.
As good a car as he's got, what his crew chief's got to be telling him right now is be smooth, work your lap cars, don't get over anxious, don't overdrive your race car. You got a nice lead, so just pass them as you get to them and be careful.
You saw Eric Bodine going a lap down in the number 21 car. That's 23rd place. It has just been lapped by our race leader, Andy Santerre. Now you see Leighton there in the 55, Kelly Moore in the 47. That'll be 4th and 5th spot. Then the lapped car of Tom Carey, 42, our pole sitter, lost 2 laps earlier, remember, folks, and he's now running in 32nd position. 57 laps complete. Smoke still coming from the 86 of Demers. Herb Drug also making another unscheduled stop as one of the top rookies on the tour, Dale Kobielek, goes a lap down to our leader.
Want to color your gray beard or mustache and get a natural look? It's easy with Just for Men Gel.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel. No one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
It's not regular hair coloring. It's specially made to penetrate that coarse, hard-to-color gray. Simply brush in and in 5 minutes, rinse. Now gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
There's something about a Wendy's classic double with cheese. I'd have made the same choice. It's hamburger bliss.
Being a good car cleaner takes dedication, hard work. It's not some happy holiday. The name is Everett. I go searching for the grime and the dirt and the sap, the gook. Just use some WD-40, that'll come right off. I majored in automotive hygienics. It's a 3-year program, but I did it in 2. My dream would be to clean the space shuttle. Do they have people that clean that already?
Don't try this with Gojo or Fast Orange. Only new Castrol Super Clean Hand Cleaner removes dirt and grease without water and without towels. Maybe those other cleaners should throw in the towel. New Super Clean Hand Cleaner.
Insects love my lawn. They're up there flying and they see, must be Big Al's restaurant. Well, Turf Builder with insect control works great. Fertilizing in the summer is not something a lot of people do. It's a very important step. So I feed the lawn and get rid of those insects all at the same time. I love Scott.
A reminder, everybody, July is Hot Summer Nights Month on TNN Motorsports. Coming up next weekend, Myrtle Beach Speedway, the NASCAR Busch Series in the Myrtle Beach 250, the Mopar Kings Royal also on the agenda. Then the week after, the Tecumseh 300 for the American Speed Association. That is July the 24th. And then July 31st, we've got the CarQuest Auto Parts 250, the Busch Series race from St. Louis, the USAC Silver Crown event, also upcoming at midnight on Saturday, July the 31st, a tape-delayed event. So lots coming up on Hot Summer Nights here on TNN Motorsports. Oh, Paul Richardson was there in the middle of that mix. You saw him while third place is up for grabs there. Brad Leighton, 55, grabs it back from Dale Shaw.
the bottom side in.
No, Ricky, I believe something that Glenn reported a while ago. I believe as this race gets on now, we're down to about 37 laps to go. I'm not sure Brad Layton's car, I believe it is getting better, but the problem he's got is about 12 seconds behind our leader, Andy Santerre.
Yeah, that's too big a deficit to make up, but maybe it's because of the cloud cover.
Well, he said that's what they set it up for, and it is getting a little bit cloudy. And, of course, when it gets cloudy, especially on a bias tire, maybe it's not so much on a radial tire, but a good rule of thumb with a bias tire, cool and cloudy, the car will tighten up, sun out and hot and greasy, the car will be loose.
So just for the heck of it, how about tomorrow if the sun comes up?
Nobody's listening.
Yeah,
You and me and a few
right.
of our friends.
What I've seen with the radial tire is whatever ends sliding, when the sun comes out, it's going to slide more. That's normally the best rule
I'll back
of thumb. Okay. Loudon will always be Loudon. You're always going to push in the center.
64 of 100 laps complete. The attrition list continues to grow. Dennis Demers has just parked his car. Dale Quarterly is now parking his car as well. Steve?
Yeah, Eli, Dennis Demers has just gotten out of the car. Dennis, what exactly put you in the garage area today?
Well, the pinion seal started leaking, and apparently it's leaking too much for the officials, and by the looks of things, I guess they're right.
Tough day.
Yeah, a tough day is right. We're running good. Thank you.
He did have a very good run going, Dennis did.
He really did. He was running third, and that might be one of my old cars. Dennis bought a car for me a few years ago. I really like that guy. He flies his own plane, has his own business, and he's pretty cool.
You know, most of these guys have other businesses going on. There are some who are certainly full-time racers, but not everyone is. Even Leighton said to me this morning, you know, I got a business to run. I'm behind the desk during the week and so on. A lot of these guys come out and go racing on the weekends. Dale Shaw's taking some runs at him. That's third place up for grabs still. They're now 12 seconds still behind the race leader, Santerre, and Andy's got 3 seconds on Ted Christopher. The 20 of Randy McDonald could be a factor right here. Maybe the pick holding Leighton up.
Shaw's car is working pretty good up in that high groove, and then the lap car jumps right up in front of him, but he's definitely going to take the lead. Whoa, Leighton makes it 3 wide, just as I was about to say.
He went inside of Jeff Taylor between them right there. What a move. .68 laps complete. Shaw with the advantage on Leighton right now. You see them going around the 51. Stub Fadden there on the apron of the racetrack. And if you're curious, yes, for years, Stub used to run number 16. When he retired, he gave his number 16 to a guy who was a lifelong Stub Fadden fan, Kip Stockwell. And now, when Stubby came out of retirement, Kip had the number, so Stubby grabbed number 51.
Wouldn't give it back.
Well, I guess if Kip asked, he probably would, but, you know, it brings about some complications and points and what have you. But that's the background on why Stubby's in the number 51. Look at the waving going on right there as the leaders go to the outside of Tim Zock, who waves them on by.
He knows these guys are racing for position. He knows they're 30 to go. His car is just not where it needs to be. So give those guys a chance. Tell them where you're going to go and tell them where you want them to go. That way they can keep on racing for position.
Take a look again at that move that Brad Layton pulled off moments ago.
This is coming down the backstretch. And lap cars, of course, a big factor. He sees the door open. He says, gang, I'm going to take it. But again, I think his entrance speed was a little high for the circumference of the corner there.
Whatever it was you said.
When it was all
entrance speed was too high for exit speed.
Glenn, you understood that.
I understand pretty much everything Larry says. Yeah, right. Just wanted to update you. We talked about Mike Olson a little while ago in the Little Trees Pontiac. Well, right now the Little Trees car has got big demons in it. They evidently broke a valve spring or something. He's down on, way down on horsepower. They brought him in. They weren't sure what was wrong. They sent him back out to make some laps. But if it gets any worse, they're going to park him. They don't run for points, so they don't want to totally ruin the engine.
He is running 15th right now and still holding the Gordon car off, number 14. But there is the leader. And Santerre has 6 seconds of an advantage now on second place, Ted Christopher.
Honey!
Bill!
I think we need a new ceiling fan.
Lowe's knows how to help.
With hundreds of fashionable top-quality fans.
Including the new 1999 models from names like Hunter and Harbor Breeze.
We can even have your fan installed for you.
So with Lowe's guaranteed everyday low prices, making your room beautiful is a breeze. When it comes to ceiling fans, Lowe's knows.
Hold it, Harry. You know you can't use Duraloop fuel treatment in your Indy car. It's an unfair advantage.
I'm not allowed to use this product in my Indy car, but in my road car, I want the Duraloop advantage.
Duraloop is scientifically formulated to clean, condition, and protect your fuel system for a smoother running engine with more power and less harmful emissions. Duraloop fuel treatment, tomorrow's technology today.
Rogaine Extra Strength is proven to work for 4 out of 5 men.
I like my chances.
Only Rogaine has extra strength, and it's proven to stop hair loss or regrow hair. Rogaine Extra Strength, proven to work.
You got feet that sweat for a living, and you get athlete's foot. Smart guys know comfort comes in yellow. New improved Desenex powder, it gets rid of the fungus and absorbs twice as much moisture as Tenactin. Desenex soothes while it cures for comfortable feet.
Lots of stresses. Motors are running hotter. Everything's fuel injected. Filters have got to be tougher. Oh, all these SUVs and trucks towing things.
And pressure.
Oh, enormous pressure. Purelator test for hydrostatic burst, PSI load, impulse pressure fatigue, everything. Oh, but that's not enough. Every single Purelator filter is tested during production, too.
That's why I use Purelator filters on all my cars, even the race car. We've learned something from all this racing.
Pure oil now, pure oil later, Purelator.
The legendary Star Speedway, Epping, New Hampshire. Speedy, number 25, Ricky Craven, on to yet another victory in the NASCAR Busch North Series. Ricky is up here alongside of us. That's Andy Santerre, another of the northern drivers who's gone on to stardom in the South. And, you know, this is nothing that's just driver-oriented either. We're seeing northern crew members making names in the South. This really has become a very fertile area, hasn't it?
It has, not just for the drivers, but also for the crew members. And you have to give some consideration to how that all came about, and we're sitting on it. This Speedway had created so many opportunities. It brought visibility to all of us. It gave us the opportunity to run on a bigger speedway and get just a little closer to the Dover, Rockingham, Darlington type racetracks. And there's still a lot of talent left up here.
Yeah, very good talent pool up here, but a lot of northerners.
I'll tell you what, guys, if this race right here was for the lead, it'd be a dandy.
Yeah, this is for third place right now. Shaw in the 7, Leighton in the 55, even swapping it back and forth. They are 13 seconds behind Andy Santerre. Andy's got 6.5 seconds on Ted Christopher. Not really a surprise. Well, anytime you get up that big, it's a surprise, but he was quick this morning. He's been quick all weekend, Andy has been.
The thing he definitely don't want to see right now, he wants to see these last 20, 21 laps run without a caution.
Larry, did you see that? The right rear tire on Dale Shaw's car was smoking on exit. Now, you hadn't seen that for a while.
Not since the bias ply days.
Do you miss those days as a crew chief, Larry?
Oh, boy, a little bit of bumping there. Dale Shaw, he's just not giving up on this deal.
That's a bump and run. You know why they call it bump and run? Because after you've done the bump, you better run.
You better run fast.
They work around the Brett Rubinek machine, number 50.
It's, you know, back to your question on the bias tires, it was kind of the good news, bad news. The good news is you had the adjustability with air pressure to change the stagger, the difference between the left sides and the right sides of the tires. That was the luxury of it. The downside, if your car, we talked about it earlier, if your car got loose, the right rear would just keep growing, or if your car was pushing, the right front would just keep growing, and you might go out with 1 inch of stagger in the rear. If your car was loose, you might come in with 1 3/4 inches. That was the downside. not knowing where your stagger was.
Very difficult to control, wasn't it?
It really was. It really had to stay on top of it. And tire guys today think they've got it tough. You need to go back and do those bias tires. That's when it was tough.
Stagger, the circumference of the tire and how it affects the handling of the race car is so much a part of the science of making a car work. This is a great battle. Again, this is the third, Leighton and Shaw. Dale Shaw. 3 Busch North Series wins here.
Whoa!
My goodness.
These guys are racing hard.
We don't need to wreck.
Now again, we're keeping an eye on the leader, but Santerre's up by 14 seconds now on this battle, so that's why we're staying with this for you. Andy's just turning laps right now.
Yeah, Eli, this is as good as it gets.
You know, the thing about it, I guess if I'm Brad Layton, as we see him swapping the lead again, I guess if I'm Brad Layton's crew chief, I'm saying, hey, you're racing for third. You're 9, 10, 11 seconds behind the leader. You've got a 106-point lead in the point standings. Fourth don't look too bad right here.
But, you know, once you win here, and Leighton has won here in the past. Matter of fact, won his first ever Busch North race here back in July of '96. Once you win here, you just don't want to settle for second.
Oh, that's it. You know, Mario Andretti put it, you know, once you finish third, and that's your best finish, it's the greatest thing in the world. And once you keep, there you see him, I believe what he's doing there, it's like maybe he's getting a little bit warm and then getting a little air in there on him. But, you know, once you ever set the benchmark at winning, then second is not that good anymore.
Best finish of the year for the 7th car of Dale Shaw was third here back on May the 8th. And again, this is 14 seconds behind the leader, Andy Santerre, who has 7 wins in the Busch North Series. And while Andy's just circulating still, we're going to stay with this because, quite honestly, this is far more entertaining than watching Andy just turn those laps with nobody in sight.
I wonder if anybody's kept actually a count on how many times these guys have swapped the lead. They've been doing it about 3 or 4 times a lap.
Yeah, I think Dale Shaw and Brad Layton.
Again, this is the third.
You know, for the people watching the race, they say, well, if a guy can drive by, why can't he get away? And these cars are still very similar to a Winston Cup car in that if you're not a whole lot better and the guy can get close enough to you, he's going to make you lose.
They go around the 14 of Tracy Gordon. We're looking now from the Olsen car. Mike carrying the onboard cameras for us as Shaw and Leighton go by.
Lap traffic definitely playing a role here. But yeah, that's exactly right. You know, you catch a car, you go by it, but if your car's a little loose, and he sees that, he's going to stay right on your bumper if he can and just make you that much looser. And again, there you see Dale Shaw. You don't see any vents blowing any air in on him. And of course, he's been working awfully hard here for the last 87 laps, trying to get a little air funneled in there on him as he goes down the straightaway.
Only 13 cars on the lead lap now. Sue Santerre's husband, Andy, doing the job. There's Sue looking on, and she says, we got this one. Well, you never say anything in this business as they go around Barney McRae. He was the last of the V6 holdouts in this series, McRae was, but those times have changed.
Lots of lap traffic to contend with, and the next 12, 13 laps, he's going to have a lot more to contend with here, so he's just got to be smooth and pick them one at a time and work his traffic in the right places at the right place of the racetrack.
Andy never did win the Busch North Series championship. He was close after a 10th in his initial season. Beyond that, he finished third, second, and fourth in the season's chase before moving south to the NASCAR Busch Series.
This is probably the most difficult part of the race for him now because he's tempted to get a little conservative. And in doing that, with that big lead, you almost forget how to drive later, you know, and the lap times get ugly. And
there they go again.
Meanwhile, back to third.
Dale Shaw and Brad Layton still getting at it. Shaw and in the 7, Layton in the 55.
You don't suppose Busch North pays a bonus for third or something, do you? The way these two guys been going at it.
Dale Shaw had to woe that one down.
They really are. I'm amazed that we haven't had any cautions.
No, we had the early one at lap 8 for that multi-car accident. Then Jamie Obey had his problem at lap 20. That's been it. These guys been racing hard but clean.
You saw Layton went by him up off the corner. Shaw run right back to the rear bumper, got him loose off turn 4, gets some momentum down the front stretch, and makes the pass as they go off in the 1 and 2.
There you see the Matt Kobiluk car. Up front, Andy Santerre, there he is, with 3 8/10 seconds of an advantage on the 13 of Ted Christopher. Mike Gallo is just lapped by the leader. What's more important here for Andy Santerre as you see Christopher? What's more important now, Ricky, is did he need a confidence builder? I mean, the man knows he can race. Did he need a confidence builder coming off the injuries, or did he just need the seat time to build up his stamina again after sitting out for so many months?
Well, he needed both, but the greatest asset you have as a racer is the confidence to race with authority. And, you know, it's difficult when you've been hurt to come back and attack the racetrack. And it takes 2 or 3 or 4 races to do that, and that's exactly where he's at right now. These guys are racing.
While you was answering that question, they swapped third place 5 more times.
7 to go.
I believe it's going to come down to
for the lead.
who's going to get who loosest the last, you know.
I will have time to watch it because they're still a good distance back. 15 seconds behind Santerre, so once Andy and Christopher cross the line, we'll have plenty of time to come back to these boys right here.
They've got open racetrack. There's really nobody within about a 1/4 of a lap in front of them or behind them, so they got the racetrack all to themselves. Next time by, they'll be getting a 5 to go.
And they've raced each other so well. You know, they've had several opportunities to drive into one another, and certainly not intentionally, but they're racing hard. It's amazing how well they're racing.
They really have. I mean, they've rubbed. We always see Shaw getting real loose up off turn 4. Meanwhile, Layton gets momentum down the front stretch, and he's going to take third place getting off into turn 1.
Wonder if Dale Shaw's tires might be giving up just a little bit. He's doing a lot of sliding now.
I would say both these guys have pretty much got their money's worth out of these 4 tires.
Up front, still 3 8/10 seconds for that man, Andy Santerre. His best finish in 37 Busch Series races was back in October of last year at the Gateway International Speedway outside of St. Louis. He finished 4th. There's second place, Ted Christopher, inside of the Brad Boyson-old machine. So 3 8/10 from the leader back to Christopher. And then, of course, that big battle you've been watching for third place, some 15 seconds behind Andy Santerre.
Should come into view here any minute, side by side, I'm sure.
Problems now for Layton. Is Layton out of fuel? The way
he's going back and forth. I would say he is.
That wasn't supposed to be a factor here. Everybody said they could go the distance.
Eli, it should be. These cars ought to be able to go 120 laps.
Yeah, I would think so, especially with the lower compression, because with the cut cars, we can run, you know, in excess of 100 laps. And, of course, with 2 to go, Layton, and he pulls off the end of pit road, so he is out of harm's way. Next time by, our leader will be getting a white flag.
How about it? Brad Layton running out of fuel 98 laps into a 100 lapper. And we've had only 9 caution laps. Maybe they calculated on more.
Well, and as I tell you, the thing about it, you know, even though these fuel cells hold 22 gallons, as Andy Santerre takes the white flag, sometimes your pickup won't do its job and it won't take all the fuel up. But I bet that's what's happened to Brad Layton.
That you're right. I'm sure. I really feel bad for Brad Layton, but you got to believe Dale Shaw's saying,
I guess. Here's Andy Santerre. looking for his 8th win in NASCAR Busch North Series competition. He was the 1993 Rookie of the Year in this division. And Andy Santerre back at home and back at Victory Lane. Andy Santerre wins the Pennzoil Replacement Auto Parts 100. His rehab now pretty much complete. He's back after the injuries of Daytona, and he's heading to Victory Lane. Ricky Craven, Larry McReynolds, I hope one of you guys heads to Victory Lane tomorrow here on the Jiffy Lube 300. It's been great joining you today.
Thank you, Eli. I want to congratulate Andy. That's just what he needed, and I really enjoyed this.
Larry Mack, we'll see you next week in Myrtle Beach.
We'll be there. Looking forward to it. I hadn't told Linda yet that's where I'm going. Maybe I'm going to run to the grocery store, and it'll take a while I'm gone.
We'll see you there as Andy Santerre heads to Victory Lane. Ricky Craven and Larry McReynolds leaving to be part of final Winston Cup practice. But we're coming back. They'll go to Victory Lane in a moment.
You got feet that sweat for a living, and you get athlete's foot. Smart guys know comfort comes in yellow. New improved Desenex powder, it gets rid of the fungus and absorbs twice as much moisture as Tenactin. Desenex soothes while it cures for comfortable feet.
What's it like to bite into a Wendy's Classic half-pound double with cheese? Man, this is weird. Wendy's, it's hamburger bliss.
How would you like to call anyone across America for just 8 cents a minute? Well, now you can. Because when you dial 1010-321, it's just 8 cents a minute for calls over 10 minutes. All day, every day. You don't have to switch phone companies. Just dial 1010-321, then 1 and the number. At just 8 cents a minute, now you can stay even closer to the people you want to talk to the most. So remember, to get 8 cents a minute for calls over 10 minutes, just dial 1010-321.
While we could give you a lot of reasons to buy Performance Friction Carbon Metallic Disc Brake Pads from AutoZone, perhaps the most compelling is this. They simply stop shorter than any brand we've ever tested. Performance Friction Carbon Metallic. Ask for them at AutoZone.
Don't try this with Gojo or Fast Orange. Only new Castrol Super Clean Hand Cleaner removes dirt and grease without water and without towels. Maybe those other cleaners should throw in the towel. New Super Clean Hand Cleaner.
CNN Motorsports live coverage of the Pennzoil Replacement Auto Parts doubleheader has been brought to you by Desenex for athlete's foot. It soothes while it cures. Welcome back, everybody. Here in New Hampshire, Andy Santerre is in Victory Lane. Let's get a thought.
Well, Andy has just pulled the car in, Eli. In fact, it took him a long time to get here. He'd never been here before. I thought he might have been lost a little bit. Let's get a word with Andy here. Andy, Thomas Wolfe said you couldn't, but Andy Santerre proves you could come home again. Welcome home to New England. What a great day for you.
Oh, man, this is great. You know, this is what we've been shooting for, you know. I just got to thank my team, Monroe Muffler Braking Service, Dynamax, Kendall Motor Oil, EJP. They're on the car this weekend. They're a Northern company up here, just thanks to Peter and Stevie Prescott. But I got to thank my team and George Debedard. George is the owner, and they stuck behind me. And I'll tell you right now, a few weeks ago, I was pretty down in the dumps, missed 2 races. And they said, hey, we're going to stay behind you, and this team's going to work together, and we're going to pull you out of this. So engine builder Tony did a great job. Tony's competition engines. Great race car. Steve Levitt, Hutchinson Pagan. It's kind of a crossbreed, but it worked good. We had a good car all day. And everybody that supported me, I really appreciate it. And I just want to say I'm back. I'm for real this time.
Well, there's no question about it. Andy Santerre is back. We're going to let him celebrate, Eli.
He is going to celebrate while a lot of changes are in the offing. While the win goes to Santerre, Tracy Gordon is now only 53 points behind Brad Layton. Dave Dion only 52 behind Layton because when Layton ran out of fuel, he came home in 26th spot. Tomorrow, NASCAR Winston Cup racing from here in New Hampshire. Our pre-race coverage at 12:30 Eastern. Race time is 1 o'clock Eastern. We'll see you then. For Ricky Craven, Larry McReynolds, Glenn Jarrett, and Steve Burns, I'm Eli Gold. Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow. So long, everyone.
Inside NASCAR, next on TNN Motorsports.